Phoenix watches over the biggest football game in school history here at Elon, as SoCon Saturday is presented all season long by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. From Rhodes Stadium in Elon, North Carolina, it's a matchup of two of the best in the country. Number 8 App State against number 6 Elon, with both undefeated in conference play. App led by the always dangerous Armani Edwards, and across the way, it's the rocket arm of quarterback Scott Riddle for Elon. The winningest coach, all-time in Southern Conference history, Jerry Moore, against the Phoenix head coach, Pete Lembo. Great to have you with us for today's game. Tom Wormy along with Sam Weitz. And Sam, right now it is sunny, but there is a storm front coming. App State and Elon playing for the automatic bid out of the Southern Conference to the football championship subdivision playoffs. For App State, they have been here before, 4-time defending champs in the Southern Conference. But for Elon, with a win today, Sam, they have a chance to make it to the FCS playoffs for the first time in school history.
And we're going to have the pleasure of seeing the #1 offense in the nation in Appalachian State go against the #1 defense in the nation in the Elon Phoenix. This is going to go back and forth. I asked Pete Lembo what he said to him last night before they went to bed. He said, well, we looked at a highlight film of ourselves. We've reinforced how good we actually are. And then he got in front of the team and he said, men, you belong in this game. You have arrived. For Jerry Moore, he was repeating things I'm sure he said many times before. They looked at the movie King Arthur. I don't know why, but they did. They looked at it over and over during the course of the season, and then he said to them, man, get to bed, 10 o'clock bed check, and remember, you've had a target on your chest all year, got one tomorrow.
Sam, you mentioned head coach Pete Lembo for the Elon Phoenix in his 4th season, and each and every year he has improved in Southern Conference action. He is 6-0 this season.
Yeah, well, he's 8-1 overall. Only Wake Forest has beaten him. You know, he came here, it was 5-6. He's gotten progressively better. He's one of those guys that's a player's coach. They respect him. They honor him. He's going to get better and better.
In our game today, Sam, we will see two of the greatest players in the history of college football at any level. The quarterback for App State, Armani Edwards, the All-American wide receiver, Terrell Hudgens for Elon, both of them seniors.
And Terrell Hudgens is the perfect storm. Both of these guys are arguably, these are the best quarterback and wide receivers in the history of the game, not just this year. But for Terrell Edwards, he has Scott Riddle throwing in the ball, an offensive line that gives him plenty of time to do it. And on the other side of the ball for Armani Edwards, he's got great receivers and an experienced offensive line as well.
And App State has won the last 13 meetings between these two teams. But Elon this season undefeated here at Rhodes Stadium at 4-0. The Southern Conference automatic bid is on the line to the FCS playoffs. And it's next on Sports South.
The moment has arrived. The matchup of the year. The nation's leading offense battles the country's #1 defense. And two of the greatest players in FCS history lead the way. At stake, the Southern Conference Championship. Appalachian State, Elon. The moment is now.
It is an overflow crowd here at Rhodes Stadium. Attendance records will be broken today as App State and Elon fight for that conference title. Both of these teams undefeated in conference play and among the best in the entire nation as we get a glance at those conference standings. 6-0 for both. Look at Elon, 8-1, and their only loss, Sam, this season to Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, but they've been getting better and better, more and more confidence in it. You mentioned in the opening there that the coach actually had to stand in front and say, man, you belong here. This is your game. It's your moment. This will be one of those inspired games. I'll tell you, one of the things you really have to watch out for, though, is that early burst of adrenaline that comes from Elon. They don't want to burn themselves out quick and leave themselves with a flat second half or second quarter.
And, Sam, you can see how rare it is to have two teams undefeated this late in the season. Hasn't happened since back in 1996.
And neither of those teams are in the Southern Conference anymore.
Just about set to kick it away. That is Sam Martin for App State in the white, black, and gold. And Elon in the maroon and gold. App State won the toss and elected to defer. Elon will receive. This is for the SoCon title. Camp from the 10. Up to the 25 for Lance Camp, who does have a return for a touchdown this season. Jeremy Kimbrough making the stop on special teams for App State.
And the quarterback for Elon is Scott Riddle, the junior, 23-9 as a starter from Ramseur, North Carolina.
And note he's only thrown 4 interceptions against 20 touchdown passes this year. Those are big numbers.
Over 300 yards passing for Scott Riddle 16 times in his career, and that is a Southern Conference record. 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Phoenix. Riddle, quick trigger, complete. Hudgens up to the 40, beyond the 40 to the 42, and a first down for Elon on the first play from scrimmage. Here are the starting lineups for today's game, and they are presented by Geico.
An offensive line is very important. They play together all year long. They know each other's moves. Jamal Schumann, Jake Oglesby, Terrell Huggins, of course, will be the guy we'll be watching, and that Appalachian State will be watching all afternoon as well.
And we'll see Brandon Newsom in the backfield as well, number 2 for Elon. Last week against Western Carolina, ran for 143 yards and 4 touchdowns. A.J. Harris with the first carry, and here comes the defense for Appalachian State, presented by Geico.
And their job, of course, is to try to get a 4-man rush so they can leave everybody else back in protection or in defense against the passing game of Scott Riddle. DJ Smith, Jacques Roman, 2 of the leading tacklers in the country on the linebacker, and Cortez Gilbert will be signed a good bit tonight to Hudgens.
Newsom gets the call. And he is stood up, tries to battle towards midfield. That'll bring up 3rd down for Elon. 3rd and short.
And Appalachian State is defensively has chosen to go with a pretty much a zone defense. They're going to make sure they keep everything in front of them here early. In particular, Terrell Hudgens, their eyes will always be on him, the extra cover guy.
Elon, the best team in the conference on 3rd down. Hudgens made the grab, but it was about a yard shy of the first down. Cortez Gilbert was on him to make the tackle. Elon this season, 50% on 3rd down, best in the conference. But in this instance, they will decide to punt it away with the ball at midfield.
And they clamp down close on Hudgens. You see the ball's thrown back to the backside back here. He has to go back to catch it, and it's not where his body is, it's where the ball is the mark. Not enough for the first down. Scott Riddle doubles as our punter for Elon.
Travaris Cadet is the deep man at his own 11-yard line. Riddle just does get that one away. Cadet from the 9. And taken down at the 10. Terrell Wilson, number 27, in on the tackle. Also Jordan Daniel, number 46 on special teams, taken down Cadet. So App State gets its first chance on offense. Armani Edwards, 39-6 as a starter. 6 feet, 184, a senior from Greenwood, South Carolina.
On top of all of that, he's graduating in 3.5 years and is number 1 in the community in Boone, North Carolina.
Devin Moore in the backfield with Armani Edwards out of the shotgun. This is Edwards, takes off to the 15-20. Look at him go, first down and out of bounds. At the 25, Carlos Sullivan shoved him out, but not before a first down.
That's the danger. That's what he brings to the game that very few quarterbacks do. The fake up the middle. Now watch, look at that hole right there open up. And now he makes people miss, sets up blocks, and still on his feet at the end, by the way. He doesn't go down easy.
15 yards for Armani Edwards, who has rushed for over 500 yards this season and 13 touchdowns. He has 60 career rushing touchdowns, second best in App State school history. Edwards spins his way across the 25 after that 15-yard pickup. Andre Campbell on the tackle. We take a look at the App State offense presented by Geico.
Mario Acatelli headlines that line, the only senior on that offensive line, but they've been together all year. Devon Moore, of course, the running back who is the leading runner on this, but quick, Klein, and even Ben Jordan, who plays a tight end type position, and to catch a lot of passes from Armani Edwards.
Ryan Quick, number 8, with a career-high 181 yards in the victory at Wofford and a couple of touchdowns. Flags are all over the field as Edwards looks to throw it. Chucks it back towards the middle, looking for Quick. It is incomplete, but again, there are flags on the play.
2 people moving. Illegal procedure. It'll be a 5-yard penalty if they choose to take it, or they can make it 3rd and 9, which is a good choice as well. This was a 50-50 call by the Elon Phoenix. Pete Limbo making that decision on the sideline. Armani Edwards signaled for someone to go in motion. One of them was obviously the wrong guy. Got the call wrong in the huddle or at the line.
Illegal shift on the offense. Two players moving at the same time. The penalty is declined. Third down.
See two people moving. As the rule is, as it's been forever, only one man can move. Everybody must be still for at least one full count before the snap.
Our referee is Larry Saunders. Jerry Moore, 21st year, 185 and 75 as the head coach at Appalachian State. And now it is 3rd and 9 for Armani Edwards and the Mountaineers.
Going against the #1 defense in the nation. Let's remind ourselves of that. And they're going to try to contain Armani Edwards with a 4-man rush and maybe a 3-man rush on this particular snap. Looks like only 3 coming.
App State, second best in the conference, 45% on 3rd down. This is Moore. Close to the 30, but well short of a first down. Joshua Jones, number 50, the sophomore from Tampa, Florida, making the stick on the play.
Joshua Jones started all 12 games last year, starter this year again. Played that one beautifully. What you want to make sure you do is force Devin Moore to go back inside if he goes anywhere. Played that outside technique just right, makes the tackle himself.
Sam Martin punted away. Joshua Jones, the leading tackler on this team, came into the game with 69 tackles for that top defense in the entire nation. Sullivan up to the 29-yard line. And that's where Elon will put it in play when we come back on SoCon Saturday. No score here in the first quarter.
2 small beef patties, sauce and some lettuce, a single piece of cheese, onions, pickles on 3 bready buns.
Watching Sports South.
SoCon Saturday on Sports South is brought to you by Carolina Ford, Drive One, by Choice Hotels. Book now at choicesportstravel.com. We'll see you there. And by RBC Bank. Let's do something giant.
Back at Elon, North Carolina, and Rose Stadium. No score here in the first quarter for the game that will decide the Southern Conference champion. Pete Lembo, just his 4th year at Elon, the 07 Southern Conference Coach of the Year, and he's got his team undefeated. Best start in school history in SoCon play.
I'd call that round 1 right there. Both teams defensively held the powerhouse offenses on both sides of the ball, and here we go, seeing what's next.
Elon with 6 wins in a row, their best start since 1986. When they were still an NAIA team. Anthony Williams has the sack, his first of the season of Scott Riddle.
That was Gordon O'Shea beaten at the line of scrimmage. Eventually, actually, there was a partial coming right in here, right in the middle. Just keeps pushing, bull rush all the way in there. Williams making the sack, getting his first for the day. This is one of the seniors on this football team.
This team had 6 sacks in that big win against Georgia Southern in Boone, North Carolina. Riddle with a pump and throw. It is picked off at midfield. Mark Legree, 5th interception of the season for Legree. Excellent field position for App State on the interception.
That was a pump and go, and really what happened was Terrell Hudgens either got held up or decided he wasn't going to be able to get there and came off of his route. Scott Riddle didn't, of course. He threw the go pattern, and the safety was right on the spot coming over the middle. Mark Legree, who leads his team in interceptions.
Legree now with 5 interceptions in his last 5 games. But App State tied for first in the Southern Conference with 11 interceptions. As a team, they had 3 last week in that win against Chattanooga. App State 7-2 on the season, 6-0 in conference play.
A little bit of action on the sideline after that play. We'll talk about it later.
Klein, room to run, and down close to the 30. They will mark him out of bounds at the 32.
And Matt Klein is a wide receiver on the depth chart, but they come out of the backfield. They're in motion. Their spread offense makes them wide receivers and running backs at the same time. Here he is right here at the bottom of the screen. Ball comes out quick. He's got blockers in front of him. Look at that. There's the open field. And he does that north-south running that makes every coach happy.
18 yards on the play, the 55th catch of the season for Klein. He leads the team in that category.
Elon with 3 men in the down stance, but they got a linebacker coming. 4-man rush.
Edwards complete. That's Klein again. And he's close to another first down. Brandon Wiggins making the tackle for Elon. Appalachian State, as we mentioned to you, the top offense in the entire football championship subdivision. Close to 500 yards per game for App State.
A lot of those rushing yards coming from their quarterback as well.
In fact, in the game, Sam, we did at Georgia Southern a couple of weeks ago, 712 yards of total offense. But not right there. Eric Ludwig put his arms around Devin Moore and dragged him to the turf.
Ludwig got penetration in a hurry. You know, they kind of describe him as a Barney Rubble kind of a guy. He's one of those old school guys that lifts weights with an anvil iron instead of a bench press. Intensity, toughness, and work ethic. That's what his coaches say about him, and he showed up.
3rd and 4 for App State.
5-man rush. They're coming with a blitz.
From the 26-yard line of Elon. Edwards to the near side and Quick. First down inside the 20. Quick still battling his way down to the 15. Cameron McGlenn could not drag him down.
Coach Jerry Moore describes Brian Quick, who's a 6'5", 210-pound sophomore, as the best athlete among the receivers and probably, in the long run, the best pro prospect. Look at this effort. Knee never goes down until the final hit.
Quick, second best on the team. Came into the game, 610 yards receiving. That one goes for 11 and a first down at the 15. Moore with the block by Edwards. But he is spun down. Nolan Ward making the tackle. As we get a chance to take a look at the defensive lineup for Elon, it's brought to you by Geico.
Eric Ludwig's already made a big play. One of the leaders on that defensive line is a senior. Linebackers, all of them are good there. Joshua Jones leading that group, though. And then in that defensive backfield, you've got right across the board seniors, upperclassmen ready to play.
Carlos Sullivan, one of those seniors with 9 career interceptions. There goes another senior towards the end zone. Touchdown, Appalachian State, Armani Edwards. $15 yards on the run for Edwards, and App State strikes first.
And Brett Irvin, the offensive center, made the key block on that. Really, the protection was holding up beautifully. Nothing was happening down the field. Armani Edwards does his thing, but the offensive line once again jumps in there. The unheralded ones made the great blocks.
Viteris, the extra point is up and good. So Armani Edwards with his 61st career rushing touchdown goes 15 yards for the score, and App State has a 7-0 lead with the SoCon title on the line. $7-0 Appalachian State, thanks to the 15-yard run by Armani Edwards, finding the end zone for the 14th time rushing this season.
That's a block right there by the center going down the field, makes a hit right there. Now watch Armani Edwards going against Nolan Ward right there. Nolan Ward's 212-pound defensive back who is a tough hitter. Armani Edwards doesn't run around him. He doesn't slide under it. He lowers his shoulders and goes right through it.
The Carolina Ford scoring drive goes 6 plays, 50 yards, 2 minutes, 43 seconds. Edwards with the 15-yard TD run, the 133rd of his career, leading all the football championship subdivision. Martin to kick it away. Schumann and Camp, the deep men for Elon. Schumann inside his own 5. To the 24 and taken down.
Tom, let me make this point right here that Elon, and this is their first big game like this. This is not Appalachian State's first big game. And the advantage therefore goes to Appalachian State. Now, though, the response to that score, can Elon come back, make something, whether they score or not, can they control the ball, can move it, can they do some good things to get themselves back in the frame of mind? We match up with this team. They just lead 7-0.
On the last series, Scott Riddle throwing his 5th interception of the season, turned into points for Appalachian State. Riddle hands it off. A.J. Harris turns it upfield for a 2 or 3 yard gain for Harris. D.J. Smith and Justin Lloyd, number 36 for App State, combining on the stop.
They go off the right side that time. Rodney Austin is the right tackle now, right guard, playing for John Robertson, who's been injured. Going to play some today, Robertson will be, but Austin making the big block on that last one.
Newsom is in the backfield with Riddle. Looking towards the Elon sideline for the play call.
App State showing blitz.
Play clock is inside of 10 seconds. Newsom up the far side and close to a first down. Jock Roman making the tackle.
Now, Brandon Newsom is the reigning Offensive SoCon Player of the Week after his performance last week against Western Carolina. He gained 143 yards. Came in saw himself on the lineup. He was depth chart number 3 going into today's game. You got to work hard here at Elon. First down on the quick snap on 3rd and inches.
That was Scott Riddle on the quarterback keeper, and the chains will move.
Okay, this is what I was talking about. Now they've got themselves back together. They got scored on. That's all right. They know their defense is not going to let that happen a lot. That's not normal for them. But their offense is starting to match.
That is Hudgens at the bottom of your screen, number 19 for Elon. The all-time leader in the football championship subdivision for catches and receiving yards. That time it's Newsom barreling his way up the middle. And did you see D.J. Smith just rip him to the turf? Smith, an aggressive tackler on that App State defense.
Well, he's the leading tackler. He got 85 tackles coming into this game and a couple of sacks. He, along with Jacques Roman, are the 2 leaders in that linebacker corps. Newsom 4 runs in a row, by the way, for this passing team.
And Newsom with 4 touchdowns a week ago in that win against Western Carolina, 42-17 for Elon.
Checking off at the line of scrimmage. 4-man rush.
On 2nd and 3. There goes Newsom again. Short of the first down. Cut down by Bobby Boslow, number 56, junior from Waldwick, New Jersey.
That's 5 runs in a row. Now, this is a total change of the complexion of the offense that was prepared for by Appalachian State. They were looking at the passing game all week long, I'll guarantee you, but they're making some hay here on the ground, that Elon is.
3rd and short for the Phoenix. That is the junior quarterback, Scott Riddle. Converted on the last 3rd down attempt. Riddle with a keeper. This time wants to throw over the middle. Complete. Should be good enough for a first down over the middle. Complete to Andre Labinowitz, his 9th catch of the season for the sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina.
D.J. Smith all over him, but it's a short throw. Ball's in the air very quick. Just throw it in there. You're not looking for a long run after the catch. You want to complete it and make the first down happen. Both linebackers close on him that time. But the job at hand was done. First down.
The only loss for this team this season against Wake Forest, just the 2nd FBS team they've ever played. Going deep. It is intercepted. Ed Gainey comes up with it. 2nd interception of the game for App State.
And a big contingent of Appalachian State fans across the way. Very happy about that one. But the ball was just slightly underthrown. Gainey played the inside technique. See, he's got position on the receiver going down the field, Aaron Millette. And not much chance. Now, really, when you get a ball hanging in the air like that, it's the receiver's job to make sure if he can't catch it, it's knocked down. Grab the guy's arms, interfere if you have to offensively. That didn't happen. Appalachian State gets it right back.
13th interception of the season for App State. They go to the ground. Devin Moore got popped trying to go up the middle. No gain on the play for Devin Moore.
Dale Riley, linebacker, 6'1", 211. Number 10, no messing around. He's not waiting on him to come to him. He's coming to the running back. It's a very aggressive defensive unit for Elon.
Tops in the nation, Sam, in total defense. They allow just 208 yards per game. The best pass defense, second best scoring defense. They allow only 12 points per game. That is what faces Appalachian State today. Going for its 5th straight Southern Conference Championship. Elon looking for the first in school history. Edwards weaving his way. Now he goes out of bounds after his short gain.
Almost a little extra action there on the sideline, but officials let it go. Very competitive game. You know what Monty Edwards brings to the game is making something happen if there's nothing down the field, and they're doing a job. Look right here, the offensive ranking for Elon, or defensive ranking, excuse me. First in every category. 208 yards. Boy, you don't lose a lot of games when you're only giving that up.
And they are also 6th in the nation in rush defense, allow just over 77 yards per game. Here comes third down for App State. On the run, Edwards, complete. Blake Elder across midfield and into Elon territory on third down.
App State has so many weapons, but the main weapon is this guy right here throwing the football. Perfect throw, just lobbing it just over the head. It's Blake Elder's a 6 foot, 173 pounds junior. I really believe that Amani Edwards is destined to be an NFL quarterback. Let's don't talk about him being an athlete that'll find a spot on the field as a returner or something. He's a quarterback.
39 yards on that previous play. Edwards dumps it off to Matt Klein. Look at him spin and burn his way down to the 35. First down, Appalachian State. 12 yards on the play. And Armani Edwards showing all his incredible improvisation abilities. He is without question one of the greatest players we have ever seen at any level of college football. Won the Walter Payton Award last year as the top offensive player in the FCS set.
Well, just mathematically, statistically, over 9,000 yards passing. He'll get over 10 before the season's over with, and over 4,000 yards rushing. No one in the history of the game has ever done it.
Just Edwards, over 9,000 and 4,000. Looking for Ben Jordan, incomplete. But there is a flag on the play.
Ruled interference on that play, but the ball was, it looked to me, overthrown. I don't think, unless he was a pole vaulter, he could have got to that one.
Larry Saunders making the call. It'll go against Elon. And Carlos Sullivan, number 21, the senior from Greenville, South Carolina.
Pass interference on the defense, number 21. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Carlos Sullivan, junior, started all 12 games a senior, started all 12 as a junior. He's a punt returner for Elon. He is a pure athlete. He just went up. I think the ball was clearly overthrown, but the officials saw it differently. And remember, this is not the NFL. It doesn't go to the point of the foul. This is a mark-off penalty, first down, though.
From just inside the Elon 20-yard line and up 7-0. First and 10 for App State. Devin Moore into the pile, driving his way for 2 or 3 yards, close to the 15-yard line.
I want to remind everybody that both of these teams have an offensive line that have been together all season long. They've had very few injuries, and the few that they've had people that were really kind of alternating starting anyway. But this Appalachian State offensive line not only protects Armani Edwards and gives him time to throw, but they open up big holes for all their running backs. Armani Edwards being one of them.
Best in the conference in the red zone, 1 for 1 today. A 15-yard TD run for Edwards. On the pitch, Moore forced out of bounds. It was Cameron McGlenn coming up from his free safety spot to make the tackle.
All right, there are big plays in every game. This is one of them. Third down, about 6, I'd say, maybe a long 6. Actually, they're going to mark it out. It's going to be closer to 5 yards. 35 in the red zone. If they can hold them to 3 points right here, you're still feeling like you're right within striking range. One score and you're I always told teams, you one score and you're the next team that scores wins the game. That's how close you are.
35 red zone touchdowns this season. Edwards on third down with a 5-receiver set.
4 of them to the left.
That is quick at the bottom of your screen. Edwards will run it. Touch at the 10. Look at him spin. Down to the 6. And that'll be a first down for Appalachian State.
Well, that's a well-designed formation. The play is very simple, but the formation took all the defenders to the offensive left side of the ball. Armani just takes it, immediately runs to the right side. Well, there aren't that many guys in the open field, one-on-one. I'm going with Armani Edwards. Jordan Daniel didn't have much of a chance. 232 pounds against Armani.
First and goal from the 6. Inside of a minute to play here in the first quarter. A rapid first quarter. Edwards with the ball. Tries to cut towards the end zone. Takes on the contact close to the goal line. Cameron McGlenn made the hit, but Edwards is in for the touchdown. His second of the game.
We're going to look at that in a minute. But that contact was made on about the 2.5 or 3 yard line, and then it was Armani Edwards with a driving leg and lower body against Cameron McGlenn, who's a big guy. He's 6 foot, 191 pounds as a defensive back. Could not keep Armani Edwards out of that end zone.
Vitaris for the extra point. Out of the hold of Dominic Magazoo, up and good. Appalachian State on the strength of a couple of TD runs by Armani Edwards, up 14-0. This one of 6 yards as he slammed into the goal line.
Watch the finish of this play. Hit right there. It's on a 5 yard line. Still driving, still reaching. All that has to cross that goal line is the ball, not the pad, not the shoulder pads or helmet. Still driving, reaching for the touchdown, and he just clears it.
Wow, what a great replay that is. Excellent camera work by our crew as Edwards reaching out to get that ball across the plane on the Carolina Ford scoring drive. 8 plays, 90 yards, 3.5 minutes. Armani Edwards, his 6-yard TD run. That is his 15th touchdown run of the season and the 62nd of his career.
You know, Pete Limbo knows how important that score was in the psyche of his football team. Now he's got to really get them back together. But on the other hand, Armani Edwards, here's a guy who's got all the accolades, got all the accomplishments. He knew how important scoring that touchdown, to the effort that he made, knowing the importance of that one particular play within the scope of this ball game, shows how much discipline Appalachian State has as well. But Pete Limbo won't let this team lay down now. They'll be back.
Coach, prior to the game, you and I talked about how Limbo told his team, you are good enough to be here, you can win this football game, but already here in the first quarter, they trail by 14.
You know, you can't avoid, if you're an Elon football player, you can't avoid the thought that this team's awfully good, maybe we can't beat them. All they need to do, though, is get back in the game with a score, and all of a sudden that psychological mindset changes. That may change your mind right there.
Hammered by Michael Frazier, number 42, a freshman from Conway, South Carolina, and you can feel the emotion from that App State side of the football field. We have a player down for Elon.
That was a straight on, full speed going both directions, and then quick reverse. Michael Frazier, number 42, making that bang right there.
Also Sam Brad Hardy, number 48.
Yep. 2 against 1. But let me tell you, when a player uncoils into you like that as a tackler, you're bending at the knees and you uncoil through a running back, you're going to win the battle. You're going to stop the momentum of the ball carrier. That's what just happened.
Now remember, Schumann is the top running back for the Elon Phoenix. Close to 700 yards rushing, but right here on the kick return, where Frazier and Hardy meet at Schumann. And he is up and walking under his own strength to the Elon sideline. A very good sign.
That's a great sign.
Schumann, the sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
You know what's a good sign is when a guy's shaking it off himself. He's not asking for help or anything. But the one thing that has, and I've seen so many players, once you get hit like that, you're stunned for a minute. You don't know whether you're hurt real bad or whether it's just your breath knocked out of you. Yeah, your helmet's sideways. You're looking out the ear hole.
Riddle Incomplete and intercepted by Legree. Legree out of bounds inside the 15.
It was a well-thrown pass right through the hands of Lance Camp, who's a very sure-handed receiver normally, but that one got through him, through his hands. And then, of course, the run back setting up short field for Amani Edwards and App State. Right there. Good throw. Good defense, though. The entire App State defense was there. Mark McCree gets the credit for it, but they were well positioned, had there been a catch, to make the quick tackle.
32-yard return by Legree, his second interception of the game. App State gets the ball back, 1st and 10 from the 15.
From the standpoint of Elon now, this is where your defense, your number 1 ranked defense, needs to step up.
Devin Moore down to the 1.
But that won't get it there.
Brandon Wiggins may have saved the touchdown.
First and goal for the Mountaineers from the Phoenix.
Appalachian State not giving Elon a chance to catch their breath. Right back to the line of scrimmage.
Moore picked up 14 yards, 1st and goal. Moore trying to finish it off. No, turned aside. Andre Campbell leading the way with the initial contact. Campbell, number 95, a senior from Plantation, Florida. As Brandon Wiggins a little shaken up on the play, and final seconds kick off of the clock here in the 1st quarter. Appalachian State, thanks to that guy, a couple of rushing touchdowns for Amani Edwards, and App State, after the 1st quarter, has a 14-0 lead. The automatic bid out of the Southern Conference to the postseason is on the line, and right now, App State running the show here at Rose Stadium.
You're watching Sports South.
SoCon Saturday on Sports South is brought to you by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop, and by Toyota. Nothing compares to a Toyota. Toyota, moving forward.
Back in Elon, North Carolina, the Blimpie 1st quarter stats: 3 interceptions for Scott Riddle, who had only thrown 4 the entire season going into the ball game.
Boy, that will throw a shock into your system. It'll also throw some doubt into your mind. You've got to really fight through it. As we were talking earlier, you know, this is when your leadership on your football team has to come up. The coach can't talk to you now. You're on the field.
In fact, the first time that Riddle has thrown more than 1 pick in a game.
And in that 1st quarter, Elon only 43 yards of total offense against 157 for App State.
Edwards to the goal line, touchdown. The 3rd rushing TD of the game for Amani Edwards.
And another one of those Herculean efforts to get into the end zone, right over Andre Campbell at left end, a 244-pounder, had his arms around Amani Edwards, and Amani Edwards just powered himself, willed himself into that goal, into that end zone.
Terrace for another extra point for Appalachian State. He has made all 3. In fact, he is now 47 of 47 on extra points this season. Amani Edwards, a 3-yard touchdown run, the 3rd of the game for the senior for Appalachian State. App State up in the 2nd quarter, 21-0. 3 rushing touchdowns in the game for Amani Edwards. Now 16 for the season. And Pete Lembo, who has never defeated App State, 0-3, needs to rally the troops right here in the 2nd quarter. We're just getting started in the 2nd. Lembo's team trails it 21-0.
They've got the offense to do it, though. They're a quick strike offense that can get back in this game where some teams couldn't. 5th
best offense in the nation. It is Camp. Cut down near the 20. Jeremy Kimbrough in on the tackle.
You know, Jerry Moore told me during the week, he said, last year about this time we were playing Wofford, same type circumstance on Halloween night. We won 70-24, but it was because Wofford actually turned the ball over. But Wofford didn't have an offense that was geared to come from behind. But this team, Elon, if they get behind, they've got the offense to do it. We've got to be ready for that kind of a return. Remember last week against Chattanooga got back into the ball game late.
This Elon offense averaging 35 points per game. Second best in the conference, fifth best in the nation is Brandon Newsom, one of the captains on the Elon squad. Tackled by Smith and Fletcher for Appalachian State.
Elon's actually doing quite well on the ground running the ball. They're quieting their quarterback down a little bit after the interceptions here. Last couple of series they've done that.
It is 2nd and 4 for Elon on their own 26, and you can see Pete Lembo dancing on the sidelines, wanting a timeout. He will be granted that timeout. 2nd down and 4.
Jerry Moore's got to be very happy about that first quarter for App State. Outscoring Elon 21-0, but turnovers were the factor. It was the very thing that he brought up earlier in the week, that they were obviously grateful for every turnover, especially ones that give you great field position. But that this week, as opposed to, say, when you're playing Wofford, who's a good football team, but they're a running football team. They can't get back in the game as quick as a team like Elon, who has a great passing game.
In those last 4 games for App State, Sam, you see the graphic there, the incredible numbers that they put up. But those are victories over Chattanooga, at Furman, a win against Georgia Southern, and at Wofford. And the minimum amount they scored was 35 in any of those games. There goes Newsom. That'll move the chains for Elon. Justin Lloyd and DJ Smith combine on the stop, but not before a first down.
Big play from a momentum standpoint. Going back to Appalachian State, early in the year they were playing with an injured Armani Edwards, who didn't play in a couple of those early ball games against their some pretty good opponents, East Carolina and McNeese State.
Edwards had to have 30 stitches in his left foot after a lawnmower accident. Missed the game against East Carolina. In fact, App State has played a lot of close games this season. They trailed East Carolina 24-0 and ended up losing just 29-24. Lost to McNeese State at home on a field goal with just 4 seconds left. Beat the Citadel in overtime. And then we witnessed Jerry Moore's team take out their frustrations, if you will, against Georgia Southern. 52-16, only the 3rd time in school history they went over 700 yards. Total offense. Here comes Elon, Sam. They must respond with something, you would think, on this drive here and not fall deeper into a hole, trailing 21-0.
Well, they're going to put a lot of their cards in their running game right here, which is very successful. The advantage, of course, is that's good enough for the first down right there, but the advantage is that you're not running the risk of another interception right now. From the standpoint of Elon and from Scott Riddle, just needs to calm down a little bit and understand that, in particular, the one that went through Lance Camp's hands, where it certainly wasn't a bad play. It was just an unfortunate drop.
And Sam, these are 2 teams that have exhibited incredible consistency. Elon in the national rankings since October of 07, and for App, their 66th game in a row as a ranked team dating back to September of 05. A.J. Harris, not a lot of room there for Harris because of Gordy Witt. Gordy Witt, number 95, and Malcolm Bennett, number 91, who's a senior from College Park, Georgia.
That time, A.J. Harris kind of got in the backfield, got boxed a little bit, and hesitated. You cannot slow your forward momentum down against a fast defense, which Appalachian State has. As soon as you slow down, they're coming.
Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11. 12 minutes, 23 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Appalachian State with 2 TDs in the first quarter, 1 early in the second quarter, all on the ground and all by Armani Edwards. Riddle escapes the pocket across midfield and into App State territory. Down to the 48, Demery Brewer, number 52, making the tackle.
At the 48
So that'll bring up 3rd and 5. App State already with 3 interceptions in the course of this game.
Right down to this is just a miscommunication between Hudgens and Riddle. This is perfect defense with inside technique, and this right through the hands of Lance Camp to Legree.
2 interceptions for Mark Legree and 1 for Ed Gainey. LeGree now with 16 career interceptions. 3rd and 6 for the Phoenix from the 48 of App State. Riddle goes down. Lanston Tanier. The sack. Big number 99. 6'2", 250, a sophomore from Shelby, North Carolina.
And again, Elon wanted to go for the home run. There's the pump. That was a design pump and go. Time runs out. Coverage was good down the field. Actually, that was as much a coverage snap as it was good rush.
So Riddle will punt it away. Travaris Cadet, number 7, standing at his own 19-yard line, son.
Mr. Everything. He's the backup quarterback. He's also started at wide receiver today in place of Coco Hillary. Coco Hillary is out. He'll have surgery this coming week on his knee. He was injured a couple of weeks ago after practice, getting some extra work in, just came down wrong on his foot.
You're watching Sports South.
SoCon Saturday on Sports South is brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Ask now, ask how, ask Sherwin-Williams. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by Capturion. Consider yourself captured. Lake Marynell on the Elon campus, the beautiful Elon campus with the Art Center behind it as we come inside Rhodes Stadium for the game that will decide the automatic bid out of the Southern Conference to the football championship subdivision playoffs. Appalachian State with 4 receivers set. Armani Edwards from his own end zone. Fires, connects. Jordan crosses the 20. First down, Mountaineers. 16 yards on the play, and App State in the midst of a school record 18 straight Southern Conference victories. In fact, Sam, since 2000, the winningest Southern Conference team with a record of 60 and 14 in those conference games. Edwards, Klein. Klein has his legs cut out from beneath him by Travis Green, and a flag comes out.
Boy, this one's going to be argued hard because he was actually blocked into what appeared to be interference. Oh, they're going to call it against Appalachian State, holding against App State. Here's the throw. Now here's a quick throw right to the bottom of the screen. And you see the contact between the offensive and defensive player. They're going to call holding against Appalachian State. Or at least that was the initial signal from the official.
Holding on the offense, number 8. That's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
So Jerry Moore, now he wants an explanation. Brian Quick.
He wants a better seat. He can't see from there. That's what he wants.
Sunny side of the street over there for Appalachian State.
Oh, boy.
And boy, I'll tell you what, Sam, does this team travel well or what? We were told that they have about 6,000 fans who have made the trip from Boone, and we can see them on the hillside and the bleachers and all over the place here at Rhodes Stadium. There is almost as much black and gold as there is maroon and gold in this stadium.
A lot of support from App State.
Edwards trying to take off. Stopped at the 9. Joshua Jones.
Well, that was priority 1 from Pete Limbo during the week. We've got to be able to contain Amani Edwards with our 4 upfield rushers. We can't dedicate anybody else because he's too good of a passer. We need them to defend the pass. That time it worked perfectly. Going back to Appalachian State and their fans, when you drive in here about a mile down the road, it looks like a bivouac. I mean, they're going to be the size of a football field covered with Appalachian State tents and flags and tailgaters. All of them having fun, drinking Pepsi and Sprite. It's beautiful.
2nd and 23. Edwards wants to chuck it. Does so. Complete. That is Klein. The very capable and able hands of Matt Klein, a senior from Thomasville, North Carolina. Terrell Wilson, number 27, on the stop for the Elon defense.
I'm going to give what could have been an excuse for Matt Klein had he dropped that one. That sun is dropping low right in the direction from the throw to the receiver that time. It had to be passing right through the sun. You can see the shadows going right in line. He's throwing right over the shadows, puts both hands on it, though, and makes the catch.
This is 3rd and 8, inside of 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Edwards, quick, first down, Mountaineers. The confidence of Armani Edwards as he floated that one to Brian Quick for a first down.
Tom, I'm just going to tell you, I was in professional coaching and playing for 29 years. This guy can be a quarterback in the National Football League. If anybody can do it, look at the touch. He drops this one right in the hole. He's got the quick release. He's got scouts now that are coming in here and are talking about right over Riley on that last throw. But they've got scouts coming in here now that are talking about him as a quarterback in the National Football League, not as an athlete. Riley, by the way, is 6'1", so it had to be a perfect pass.
24 yards on the play. Edwards to Quick. There goes Edwards. Puts his head down and barrels his way down to the 42. Sam, he is one of the toughest football players I've ever seen. He is not afraid of anything, sacrifices his body. We've seen him do it. Got hurt in the Michigan win a couple of years ago in 2007. Got hurt that season again against Wofford, a shoulder injury. Here he is as a senior, looking for his second straight Walter Payton Award as the top offensive player in the football championship subdivision.
Well, the first thing the pros will do, we don't want to talk him out of his strong finish as a collegiate, but they're going to talk him out of lowering his shoulder.
Razzle dazzle, Cadet, first down and out of bounds near the 35-yard line. Nolan Ward toppled Travaris Cadet. This is SoCon Saturday. Number 8 Appalachian State, number 6 Elon. The winner of this game will earn the automatic bid out of the Southern Conference to go to the FCS playoffs. For Elon, they're trying to do it for the first time in school history. Tom Wormy, along with former Furman quarterback Sam Weich. Sam also coached in the Super Bowl as well.
Yeah. For a day.
And he,
it's a quick throw with the blockers out in front, that wide screen.
that is Klein, Sam, diving down inside the 30, a 7-yard play for Matt Klein.
He had DeAndre Presley and Blake Elder out in front of him as lead blockers. Now, they can go and block downfield immediately because the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage. In college football, that's illegal to block downfield. In fact, it's legal for the offensive lineman to go downfield as long as that ball is completed behind the line of scrimmage.
Armani Edwards in the game, 9 rushes, 58 yards. He is 9 of 10 through the air for 147 yards. Now he takes off. The improvisational skill. High steps his way inside the 15 and taken down by Nolan Ward.
Nolan Ward prevented that score from jumping from 21 to 28 right there. That's what is so difficult. 4 people, all you have to have is a couple of them make a good block, and you see the good protection that was going on right there in the offensive line. That was Mario Acatelli. He's the senior. He's the leader on that offensive line that gave him the chance to break away. And the rest of it's all Armani Edwards.
15 yards on that play for Edwards. You mentioned Acatelli, his 42nd career start today. Devin Moore plows his way up the middle. Dale Riley gets in his way.
Starting to see some of those Elon defensive players putting their hands on their hips. You don't like to see that. As soon as that happens, you know that fatigue is setting in. But now when they lean over and put their hands on their knees, see that when the thumbs are back? When your thumbs go back, you're okay. But when the thumbs go forward, like we just saw right there with one of the defensive linemen, it means you're really tired.
Moore trying to go outside, stopped. Walker White, number 49. One of the captains on this team. He's a senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Loss of 3 on the play. So here's another big 3rd down. probably bigger for Elon, Sam, than it is for Appalachian State.
Oh, no question about it. And here they are going with the 3 receivers far to the left. Appalachian State trying to take everybody out of the box, which makes it a little bit easier if Armani Edwards wants to run.
3rd and 10 for Edwards and the Mountaineers. This time he wants to throw. It is incomplete. Looking for Travaris Cadet number 7. So that'll bring up 4th down.
Well thrown pass. Ball was right there, but just a little bit too much stuff on it to hold on to it. Really a victory for Elon right here because they have not played poorly. It's been the outstanding play by Appalachian State that moved this ball down into a field goal range here.
Jason Vitaris is on for the field goal. It is a 29-yard field goal for Vitaris. And it's no good. So Vitaris with only his 6th miss of the season. Elon has life, trailing 21-0. SoCon Saturday on Sports South is brought to you by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop, and by Toyota. Nothing compares to a Toyota. Toyota, moving forward. Just over 5 minutes to go in the second quarter in front of this overflow crowded Rhodes Stadium. 21-0 thanks to 3 rushing touchdowns by Armani Edwards.
Let me tell you, Jerry Moore was telling us about him, talking about how competitive he was and what a huge impact he's had on the program, but not just the football program, but on Appalachian State University and the community. He's saying, you know, when he goes to the Walmart there, the kids just flock around him. He stands there and signs autographs until he's finished. He's handled success beautifully, and in the words of Jerry Moore, his coach, he is a great ambassador for college football.
10 rushes, 73 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the game for Armani Edwards. Riddle going deep. Incomplete. Was looking for Hudgens. Ed Gainey was there, but there's a flag on the play.
And of course, Hudgens, Terrell Hudgens, and Ed Gainey are both pointing at the other guy, saying it was you, not me. Or either that phantom defender that was out here, he was shoving you. It couldn't have been the. All right, here it is. Oh, that goes against the offense. Elon, in desperate need of a break, doesn't get one here.
And I think, Sam, from the replay, it's easy to tell.
That's half the distance to the goal.
That one,
1st down.
the responsibility there belonged to Hudgens.
Yeah. You know, if you will keep the arm closest to the defender in a non-violation look, and just use your other arm, you can kind of poke the guy from the other side there and get away with it many times. Not that I've ever done that or coached that.
Of course not.
No, but facts are facts.
Hudgens, 2 catches, 19 yards in the game. Last year against Appalachian State, Hudgens had just 3 catches for 23 yards, the 2nd lowest total of his career. As App State won it 24-16 to clinch the SoCon title a season ago. Here's Hudgens. Crosses the 15, met by Cortez Gilbert. We have a flag on the play. Looked like Robertson jumped the gun.
This last pass from Scott Riddle to Terrell Hudgens, it just tells you a little bit about how good a receiver Hudgens is. Look at the ball thrown behind him. That's a slant. The ball is supposed to be coming over the inside shoulder. It's thrown behind him. He just drops his backside hip. His shoulder rotates, reaches out comfortably. It's not a hard catch. Doesn't make it look difficult. And after the catch,
offside on the defense, number 46. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 1st down.
The other thing he does is that after the catch, he maintains his feet. He didn't catch it and go down. He was still trying to make it, and did get a couple more yards out of it. Had a 5-yard penalty, so it's still 1st down at about 15.
Hudgens a week ago at Western Carolina, 8 catches for 153 yards and a touchdown. As he went past Jerry Rice for all-time receiving yards in Division I college football. Harris. Not a lot for Harris because DJ Smith, the leading tackler on this App State defense, was there.
Smith, a junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, in the game against Samford this season, a career-high 17 tackles. He is 5th among active players in the football championship subdivision in tackles.
I'll tell you, he trailed that play from the very beginning. Lined up as an inside linebacker, went out, and followed him all the way, never giving him a chance to get back to the line of scrimmage. The first quarter last week, he got the interception against Chattanooga to get him rolling. First turnover against Chattanooga.
Smith has 7 tackles in the game so far. Second down, complete. Hudgens, room to run. Dives to the 30. Very close to a first down as Justin Lloyd, number 36 for App, made the tackle.
Yeah, they are. Some of the chain crew thinks it's good enough for the first. There he goes.
14 yards and a first down.
Good blocking downfield by his teammates. That was Aaron Millette giving Terrell Hudgens a chance to get that extra half a yard that made the difference. That was a big, big recovery from an offensive interference call that cost him 10 yards.
Scott Riddle tops in the conference in passing yardage. This time he hands off to Brandon Newsom. Solid gain on first down, and Smith makes another tackle. Hudgens now is up to 3 catches for 35 yards. And has had an incredible career. When you are named in the same sentence with Jerry Rice, Sam, I think you've done pretty well for yourself.
Well, look at those numbers. He's right there with him. He stands a chance right here to, if he gets to 51 touchdowns, to break Jerry Rice's record with most touchdowns as a receiver.
Riddle complete. What a catch by A.J. Harris. And what a throw by Riddle. Moving to his left and finding Harris for the catch. Is that the play, Sam, that sparks the stadium and these Elon fans?
Well, let's just remember that play at 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first half. That play completed for the first down, got him past midfield, and keeps the drive going. They've got 2:40 to go, plenty of time. They've got 2 timeouts remaining.
That was a 16-yard play. This one falls incomplete, intended for Hudgens, who is a senior from Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
A lot of substitutions for Elon on this 2nd and 10 call. No reason to get into a super rush or panic in terms of the clock. They have 2 timeouts for 2:37 left.
We saw Hudgens a few weeks ago on SoCon Saturday against Furman go for 209 receiving yards. Riddle does the wise thing and throws it into the turf, pursued by Lanston Tanier and Demery Brewer.
Riddle looks like he's getting just a little bit frustrated right there. Looked back to the sideline like there was nowhere to go with it. Couldn't get anybody open, and he didn't have anybody open that I could see down the field. Did a good job of keeping the ball alive as long as he could. From a technical standpoint, what he did beautifully was he kept his fingers on the laces, which means if he saw somebody late, he could stand up and pop it like he did just a few plays earlier. 3rd and 10.
2.5 minutes to go in the second quarter for the 48 of Appalachian State. Riddle has the time, does not have the receiver at the moment. Now throws it. It is incomplete. Sean Jeffcoat, number 9, the intended receiver.
Wow. Almost another beautiful pass, just dropped in there, pure touch to Sean Jeffcoat, and it was right along the sideline of Appalachian State. They were almost, and watch right here at the very end. I guess they're in good shape. It looked like they might have been a little bit too close. You know, they see that white line right there. They've got to give that sideline to the ball players, not to the sideline.
So Riddle is in to punt. Elon crossing midfield for the first time today, but they have to punt it away. Scott Riddle. You always have to be aware of the fake, Sam, when the quarterback is back there. This time he will, in fact, punt it away. Cadet lets it bounce. And again, Riddle does his job. Rolls down to the 7. So a long field ahead of Appalachian State. With 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go. A 41-yard punt by Scott Riddle.
who averages just over 38 yards per punt on the season for Elon.
Now, in the big picture, 2 minutes and 8 seconds right now may be the most important 2 minutes in the game. Because if Appalachian State could march down there and score, go in at 28 or 24-0, it may have broken the back. But if Elon holds them or gets a turnover and gives Elon a chance to get a score right before the half, the entire complexion of the game changes.
App State from its own 7.
Being careful a little bit right there on the handoff inside.
Matt Klein on the carry there as App State trying to stake its claim to a 5th straight SoCon title. 3 interceptions thrown by Riddle. Armani Edwards, 154 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. He is now up to 63 career rushing TDs. Second best in school history.
And App State 2.5 times the total yards in the first half of Elon.
Klein. First down. Dale Riley, number 10 for Elon, making the tackle.
Boy, I always told my receivers, don't you catch the ball and run sideways like that trying to break it, because you'll end up losing yards. But that's what happens every now and then. They end up making some extra yards in the first down, and the old habit is now implanted in their mind, and they try it again later.
13 yards on that play. Edwards back to the air. Complete. Moore dances.
Devin Moore is half wide receiver, half running back. Like most people that play for Appalachian State, they've got to be able to catch the ball, block, run, go down on the kickoff, punt return if you're Traveris Cadet. Cadet, of course, is the backup quarterback. It's about 3 snaps out of 10 in practice, getting ready to play quarterback, and then comes and plays wide receiver most of the time.
Edwards to throw. Klein open over the middle, incomplete. Klein already has 6 catches for 74 yards to lead the way for App State, but couldn't come down with that one. And this is a full throttle offense, Coach. There is no stopping this team. They just want to try to get more points on the board before halftime.
Look at the hit right at the end right there on Armani Edwards. He's very slow getting up, and he's still hurting. He's kind of limping. It looks like they're going to at least take a timeout. The hit came right at the knee from Andre Campbell in the pass rush. It wasn't an intentional hit, but there was a hit right at the knee. Hopefully this was just a bruise. There it is right there. Ooh. That one doesn't...
right on the right knee, Sam. And look, and knees are not supposed to go that way.
No, but I'll tell you, sometimes the body that is well conditioned and trained gets away with things like that.
You know, we've talked about
Jordan Daniel on the pass rush.
Yeah, we've talked about Edwards' toughness, how he has returned from injury time and time again.
Well,
he got hurt in that momentous victory in 2007, 34-32 at the Big House against Michigan. And then a couple of weeks later, just to tell you how tough the Southern Conference is, they lost to Wofford.
Yeah.
Right here on Sports South.
And that 34-32 was in favor of Appalachian State. They beat Michigan that day. But this is Traveris Cadet, 6'1", 210, sophomore, wide receiver, quarterback. He's played a good bit of late because the scores have been pretty wide, and he's had a chance to get in and play a little bit late in the game.
This time he is dropped. Andre Campbell, who leads the team, 11.5 tackles for loss, comes up with what would appear to be another one right there.
Yep, and time it up for Elon to call their second time out of the half and give them a chance on 4th down and 9 to give them a chance to get themselves back into field position right here.
App State 4 for 7 on 3rd down in the game with 52.7 seconds to go, but a commanding 21-0 lead on the strength of 3 rushing touchdowns for Armani Edwards, who is out of the game. Right knee banged up on the previous play, and Cadet is in there. For App State, they will have to punt it away now with Martin.
if you're App State, you're concerned about Amani Edwards now, not about whether your offense is moving the ball at 21-0, because this injury is happening as you're finishing the regular season and going into the playoffs, a much more unforgiving time than early in the year.
Sullivan, fair catch, makes it successfully at the 42-yard line. So with 47.1 seconds to go after the 37-yard punt, Elon has a chance here, Sam.
Yep, and as we look at Armani Edwards getting attention from the trainer and doctor, I'm sure, what they're measuring right there is to see if there's any looseness in the knee. If the knee is still tight, generally that means that you've got a bruise or a little twist or something that's a lot less difficult to get ready for the next game or games down the road.
Elon with the 3 receivers set. Complete, Harris. And he wisely steps out of bounds after picking up the first down close to the 45-yard line. So Sam, here's a great opportunity, just 41.2 seconds to go, but a chance to put points on the board and get a little momentum.
Yeah, and if you're Elon, your coach has said, get out of bounds every chance you get. Hand the ball to the official. Don't drop it on the ground where they got to go get it and waste time. And get back and get set and be still so we can get another snap off.
Riddle, deep, and overthrows everybody.
Not there. You still have time. If you're Scott Riddle and Elon, you've still got time to move the ball down the field. You don't have to hit the home run right now. That was Sean Jeffcoat, the intended receiver, but he was well covered. There was really kind of taking a shot on that one, but at 21-0, you hope that Cortez Gilbert. There's Amani Edwards leaving the field. Going up the tunnel.
Again, he was hit in the right knee. Riddle backpedaling and throwing it away. Jabari Fletcher brought the pressure for App State. Number 54, senior from Atlanta, Georgia. And that brings up 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10. And the body language from Elon right now is one of not a lot of enthusiasm. They came out here with a lot of zip, a lot of go, but you can see that they're kind of flat right now.
3rd and 10 from the 45. Trailing 21-0. Riddle pursued and dropped. Lanston Tenier.
Tenier, who is the normal starter, didn't start today. Brewer started in his place. Of course, both of them have played a lot. Both of them start, both of them play a lot. They give each other the rest. But there's the closing speed from Tenier. Langston Tenier, 6'2", 250, just a sophomore. You know, the one thing, there are 3 seniors on the offensive unit of Appalachian State, 4 seniors on the starting unit of the defense. They're going to be good next year. They're going to be very good next year. So they're going to lose some of their very key players, starting with Armani Edwards. But they have been grooming others to come along. They've got a redshirt quarterback that is looking good to them, as well as Cadet, who's played quite a bit this year for them as a backup quarterback.
App State won 3 consecutive national championships before losing last season to Richmond in the 2nd round of the football championship subdivision playoffs in Boone, 33-13. That may have been deflected, Sam.
I don't think it was. The official threw the flag out, which means that nobody got a hand on the ball. You can't touch the punter. He's unprotected.
Demetrius McCray was the man who made the contact on Riddle.
Riddle is kind of walking that one off. Now he's being called to the sideline. Let's go. We got to get the offense ready. 9 seconds to go. They've got a chance for a shot to the end zone or a shot down the field and still leave time. They've got one. Well, I guess they just used their last timeout. Somebody did. I don't know. I didn't see the official signal as to who called timeout.
Sam, this is an Elon offense that averages 35 points a game. They have been held scoreless here in the first half.
Looking at the replay, you can see the ball is not touched. It's clean. It's away. Contact on the kicker. Well, Okay.
Not a lot.
Not a lot, but it doesn't take much. That was Demetrius McCray, number 10 with the contact, a freshman, making one of those freshman mistakes. They don't ever say it's a junior mistake or a sophomore mistake. They make the same mistakes, though.
Running into the kicker. That penalty is declined. First down.
And they declined the penalty. I don't understand that one. Well, I do understand it. If it was not going to be a first down, that the penalty mark would have marked it off, but it was still been, I still would have taken the penalty because you would have had the ball and eaten up the last 9 seconds with your next play. I don't understand that one. And now Elon finds themselves in a prevent defense.
Cadet hands off. And a big gain. Devin Radford, number 16. And that will do it in the first half as the final seconds come off the scoreboard. So Appalachian State goes to the locker room up 21-0. Scott Riddle just 68 yards passing, tops in the Southern Conference. But today it's just not happening for Riddle. And Jerry Moore joins us before going to the locker room. Coach, what do you think of the effort of your team thus far today in such a big game?
Well, they played awfully well, Sam, in every phase of it so far. It started with the kickoffs, special teams. They played well so far.
You told us earlier in the week that turnovers in earlier games got you these early leads, but that Elon's the kind of team that can come back. That's what you're going to tell your team at halftime?
Oh, sure they are. They didn't just get here accidentally. They're a good football team. They're still a good football team.
Well, they're a quick strike team as well, but Your defense has done a great job with them. Can you give us any report on Amani Edwards?
I don't think it's real bad. It's a little bit of a strain, but they're going to try to get him back the second half. Obviously, we wouldn't do something, I want to say dumb. But if he can play, he'll play, and if he can't, we'll go with Tavares. Tavares is a fine quarterback, and we feel confident with him in there also. He's played very well when has been our quarterback.
Sure. Coach, lastly, can you talk about the effort of your defense? You have been critical of them recently, but boy, what a performance in the first half.
Well, they're young in some spots, and we take a beating every once in a while, but they play hard, and they go to the ball, and we've been fortunate enough to get some turnovers with them this afternoon.
Coach, thanks so much.
Yeah,
and,
thank you. Good luck second half.
Best of luck, yes. Head coach Jerry Moore of Appalachian State has a 21-0 lead as the teams go to the locker room here at Rhodes Stadium. Coming up is the Choice Hotels halftime report. This is SoCon Saturday on Sports South. Yes. And welcome back to the Choice Hotels halftime report. Appalachian State with a 21-0 lead over Elon with the automatic bid out of the Southern Conference on the line between these two teams today to the FCS playoffs. We'd like to congratulate this week's SoCon Student Athlete of the Week, Amanda Flink of Davidson College. The junior defender from Richardson, Texas, scored the game-winning goal in double overtime in the finals of the Southern Conference Tournament to lead the Wildcats to a 1-0 victory over the College of Charleston, clinching Davidson's first SoCon tournament title since 1996. Voted tournament MVP, Amanda led a Wildcat defense that played 198 scoreless minutes. In the classroom, Amanda holds a 3.52 GPA in mathematics. Our congratulations to the SoCon Student Athlete of the Week, Amanda Flink. And joining us at halftime is the athletic director, Dave Blank, here at Elon University. And Dave, thanks so much for your time here at halftime.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I wish the score were a little different for the Elon folks, but it's a great atmosphere, a good day for college football, and that's why you play both halves.
I was going to say, that's what halftime is for, the adjustments coming out of the second half. 21-0 is our score at halftime. Now, you've had a big day already. Regardless of the football game, you broke ground on a 33,000-square-foot athletic field house that will start construction very soon.
That's right, Ty. It'll be right to the north of the stadium. We'll move our scoreboard, and put the building right there. It'll service everything that our football program is going to need. It'll have some coaches' offices in there, a new weight room, a student lounge, and all kinds of good amenities. So basically, if you stand on the roof of that building and you look at all of the facilities around the stadium, that includes track and field, men's and women's soccer, baseball, football. All of those folks will be in that building and make good use of that right here at the stadium.
It seems like the athletic program overall here at Elon is experiencing quite a surge, and that structure being the centerpiece of that as you continue to have success in the athletic fields.
Well, it's going to be a real important addition, you know, and it's all about recruiting. So we need to have good facilities, and this building is real important to the future of where we're trying to take the athletic department.
Let's talk a little football and tell me about your coach, Pete Limbo, and the incredible work that he has done. 21-0 trailing at halftime, but leading up to this game, 6-0 in Southern Conference play, 8-1 on the season, and you still have a chance to make those FCS playoffs.
Sure, and it goes deeper than that. The job that Pete and his staff have done over the 4 years that we've been here is just incredible. Great progress. We've been in the playoff hunt to 3 of the last 3 years now. The first year we were 6-5. The next 3 years we're right there, and here we are again. So we got another half of this one, and then we go to Sanford next week. But with 8 wins, we feel like we're in good position to get in the playoffs this time, and hopefully we will.
What was it about Coach Lembo's style and his approach to the game, both on and off the field, that made him such an attractive candidate some 4 years ago?
Well, he had great success in another league up at Lehigh, and just was a great fit for Elon at the time. Came in here, understands Division I AA at that time, which it was called, and knew how to build a program. So it just felt like a good fit here at Elon, and he's proven that to be right.
How does it make you feel as athletic director when you look around this stadium today here at Rhodes Stadium and see this overflow crowd and see the heights that your football program has reached and the result, this incredible crowd today for this game?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I don't know the count yet. We're going to do that at halftime and look at the scanners, but I'm thinking we're pushing 14,000 people, which is be the largest crowd that we've ever had at Rhodes Stadium. But to answer your question, my smile probably answered that for you. It's great to see the kind of turnout that we've had, and it's even greater to see our football fans that are understanding at this level, it's a big-time atmosphere.
How about your student athletes overall? What kind of quality of a person is it that comes to Elon and achieves both athletically and academically?
Well, Elon's a special place. It's a place that you can compete for championships, but also graduate from one of the best universities in the South. We've got all kinds of statistics that show, based on our admissions and our graduation rates, Elon is just a great place to do both, and our student athletes truly are students first.
Dave, thanks so much for your time, and enjoy the second half of the ball game.
I sure hope to.
All right, Dave Blank, the athletic director here at Elon University. Kind enough to join us at halftime. Armani Edwards, 3 touchdown runs on SoCon Saturday. The Choice Hotels halftime report continues. Welcome back to the Choice Hotels halftime report from Elon, North Carolina. App State, the number 8 team in the nation, with a 21-0 lead over the number 6 team in the nation, Elon. The winner of this game will get the automatic bid out of the Southern Conference for the football championship subdivision playoffs. Tom Wormy along with Sam White at halftime as we take a look around the Southern Conference and check out some of the other scores happening in the SoCon today. Western Carolina 24-7 over Eastern Carolina. Great win for the Catamounts there. 2-8 now in the season. Sanford and Wofford going right down to the wire in the fourth quarter. We saw Wofford with an impressive victory over the Citadel a week ago. The Citadel now leads Chattanooga. That is in the fourth quarter. Chattanooga took App State last week right down to the wire. And Furman on top of Georgia Southern in the fourth quarter. That is a 30-15 score. The standings in the Southern Conference, well, there's no debating this one, Sam. This game is for everything. Both of these teams 6-0 in conference play so far this season.
Well, they are, and you know you've got one team that's got the experience of playing these big games, Appalachian State, and another team that's kind of learning and following the model of the Appalachian State plan, and it's showing up in the first half. But Scott Riddle is a very, very good quarterback. The offense is solid. There's a chance this one can they could get right back in the game real quick in the third quarter.
Yeah, this offense for Elon limited to just 110 yards in the first half, but that's why you make adjustments at halftime, and we've got another couple of quarters to play in our game here at Rhodes Stadium. But coming up next week, we will wrap up SoCon Saturday on Sports South with our game right there, Furman at Wofford. The rest of the schedule Chattanooga has to play Alabama. Now, wouldn't that be something if Chattanooga gives Alabama a game?
App State, Michigan, let me think.
From 2007.
Yeah.
The Citadel and Georgia Southern will kick it off at 2 p.m. Elon will go against Samford at 3 o'clock, and Western Carolina and Appalachian State. They will play for the Old Mountain Jug. App State has won 22 of the last 24 games for the Old Mountain Jug, and they'll play it in Boone, North Carolina at 3:30 p.m. 3 interceptions in the first half for Appalachian State, including that one by Ed Gainey. This is the Choice Hotels halftime report on SoCon Saturday. Bid is on the line out of the Southern Conference. Turnovers, a big story in the first half. Scott Riddle had only thrown 4 interceptions the entire season coming into the game. He threw 3 in the first half to App State.
First one here going to Mark LeGree, making the play on the sideline. Ed Gainey gets the next one, and then LeGree comes back after the camp. Actually, the ball went right to him, and it goes through his hands, and LeGree gets the interception. He goes down the sideline. Those quick turnovers, though, have been the difference in the game.
Another big difference in this game, number 14, the All-American quarterback and the Peyton Award winner from a year ago, Armani Edwards. 3 rushing touchdowns for Edwards, and once he gets ahead of steam and is able to make his move, Sam, he is just so tough to stop.
He is, and right there at the end, just as you said tough, he hit that guy like he was a running back and reaching, making the second effort. This is a kid, he's a senior, he knows how important this game is because this one basically is for the championship of the Southern Conference and an automatic berth in the playoffs.
73 yards rushing in the first half for Edwards, but he had to leave late in the second quarter as he was hit by Andre Campbell.
Yep, it was to the right knee, and it looked like a pretty clean hit. He was just coming in there, losing his balance, going down, but the ball was released. Hopefully his foot came up. Coach didn't seem like he thought it was too bad. Let's hope he's right.
Here are the first half stats brought to you by Capturion, and App State appears to be dominating things thus far, Sam.
Well, Appalachian State is dominating on every level, including the emotional level at the end of that first half. And that is very important for them, Elon, to get themselves back up. Let that adrenaline get going again and say, let's come back, get a score, get back into the ball game. But right now, you can see the body language that they are really out of it for the moment.
I think Elon, Sam, maybe just needs a couple of critical plays to get this crowd behind him. An overflow crowd here at Rhodes Stadium, probably the biggest attendance that you're going to see in the history of this stadium that opened in 2001. They haven't had a whole lot to cheer about in the first half.
No, they haven't, but everybody came here expecting this to be, and it is, the most important game probably in the history of Elon football. And with they dedicated a new facility at the 11:30 this morning, so they're getting ready for bigger things down the road. They're good enough to come back. This is not a team that is out of it if they get behind. They've got the ability to come back.
If you're Pete Lembo, how do you address your kids at halftime and really get them back into this football game, Sam? They've had a lot of trouble both on the offensive and defensive side of the football.
You know, sometimes it means just grabbing them by the neck and saying, wake up just a little bit here, fellas. I told you last night that you were good enough to be in this football game. You're still good enough to be in the game. You're 8-1 coming in here. Remind yourselves of how well you've played in the past. Let's go out and do it again.
You sound like a coach, Sam.
I don't know. I had to say that more than once.
I'm fired up by that speech for the second half. This is the Choice Hotels halftime report. Armani Edwards and the App State Mountaineers lead this one, 21-0.
You're watching Sports South.
Ready to start the second half from Rhodes Stadium. Elon head coach Pete Lembo, kind enough to join us. And, Coach, give us your approach for this second half, trailing 21-0.
Well, we just got to take it one play at a time. I know that sounds like a cliche, but I think we settled down in the second quarter. We got to hold up better in pass protection, and obviously getting a stop here on defense would be a great way to start the half.
Coach, how are the emotions of the ball club? How were they at halftime?
Yeah, they've settled down well, Sam. I think we were a little too geeked up to start, but hopefully that's calming down now.
How about Scott Riddle with the interceptions? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's doing fine.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach. Good luck second half.
Okay, bye-bye.
Pete Lembo, always gracious with his time to us. We thank both of these teams and all the student athletes involved in our game today. 21-0, our halftime score. Appalachian State scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter and 1 early in the second quarter. So we have not seen any scoring for quite some time. And again, Armani Edwards left the game late in the second quarter with what looked to be a right knee injury. He was shaken up on the play and replaced at quarterback
hit by Andre Campbell on the right knee. So we will check on the status and find out immediately, because Appalachian State will get the ball to start the second half, barring a turnover on the opening kickoff of the second half.
You know, we're talking to Pete Limbo, who is very gracious in a tough spot right there to talk to us. There's not a lot you can say. We've just got to play harder. We got to hit harder. We got to play more as a team, and we've got to make sure we make plays in the second half.
38th all-time meeting between these two teams, and App State leads at 29 victories against 9 losses and 1 tie. Radford hops over the 30 and then fights a few maroon jerseys for a few extra yards.
Devin Radford replaces Coco Hillary, who is the normal kickoff return man. But as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Coco Hillary, after practice, was doing some extra work, catching passes, went up for a pass, came down hard and wrong on the, and messed his knee up. He'll have surgery this coming week, and is looking for several months, probably 6 to 8 months of recovery. It'll be a long grind, but he should be able to go next year.
Travaris Cadet, number 7, back in at quarterback, sophomore from Miami, Florida. Radford, short gain on first down, and we are looking for Armani Edwards on the sideline for Appalachian State. We have not seen him come out of the tunnel just yet, as there is a player for Elon shaken up.
Travaris Cadet is the quarterback now for Appalachian State. You can't see the number of 95, huh?
That would be Andre Campbell.
He was the fellow that hit legally, but hit Armani Edwards right before the end of the half. And now he's down a little bit on the sideline or on the field. Cadet, we were talking about, in practice normally works as a wide receiver. He will take some turns, though, at quarterback. Here's the hit.
I think it was a block by Devin Moore, Sam.
Yep.
That kind of upended Andre Campbell, who is tied for first in the Southern Conference in tackles for loss. He will favor that right leg, but walk off under his own strength. Senior from Plantation, Florida. This is the final game, final home game for the seniors here at Elon.
Here's another look at it.
Looked like that right knee got bent, Sam.
Right there. That one doesn't look like it got twisted. That was more of a bruise to me. And so you can get that little bit of a hyperextension, though, when your leg gets whiplash like that. It just takes a little time to recover, a little ice and heat, and you're ready to go.
2nd and 9 for Cadet. A little stiff arm at the 30, but forced out of bounds just beyond the 35. Cameron McGlenn, number 20 for Elon.
You notice the offense doesn't really change. The offensive scheme, the style doesn't change when Cadet comes into the ballgame. Obviously, you're going to miss a guy like Armani Edwards not being there. But the look of this team will be the same. In fact, here on 3rd down, there are the 4 wide receivers to the right side of the offense with 1 receiver to the left, spreading out the Elon defense.
4 for 7 on 3rd down for App State. Came into the game 2nd best on 3rd down in the Southern Conference. App State has won 13 straight in this series. But this one will decide the automatic bid out of the Southern Conference for the postseason.
Almost intercepted, almost caught. Would not have been enough for the first down. Quick throw. Cadet. Here comes Armani Edwards onto the field. Walking along in front of his home, or his fans that are on the road following their Appalachian State team. Yeah, I'm guessing if this game doesn't change dramatically in the score, that they'll probably let him sit this one out the second half if they can.
Looked like
more time.
Yeah, looked like there was a brace on that right knee for Armani Edwards. Sullivan will let it bounce. And it takes an App State roll down to the 15, officially down at the 16. We'll take a timeout on SoCon Saturday. App State up 21-0. Armani Edwards loosening on the sideline for Appalachian State. He has come out of the locker room with a brace on that right knee, injured in the latter portion of the 2nd quarter.
Actually has that left ankle taped and spatted But the good news, when he was warming up, he was setting up as well. He was actually taking a crossover retreat in his drop, which was testing that knee every time with the torque in the knee.
Scott Riddle sacked 3 times in the first half and threw 3 interceptions. Elon got the stop on defense. What will they do on offense with their first possession? And you see a little emotion from Brandon Newsome as he comes out of the pile, number 2. Stopped by Jabari Fletcher.
Well, that's what they need to do is start right there with motivating themselves and getting going again. And I've said this 100 times. The first series on offense and the first series on defense dictates the whole second half. If you don't come out ready to play at that point, it's hard to crank it up.
First play from scrimmage and a first down. Newsome bounces off the line, slams his shoulder pads into a defender, and gets up to the 35 before DJ Smith, number 9 for the Mountaineers, brought him down. An 8-yard pickup for Newsome. 18 yards and 2 plays for Newsome.
Some emotion from Jeff Allen, the offensive center, as he gets through after making a nice block and getting everything happening. They're ready to go. Look at him right there, number 54. He's ready to play.
Whatever Pete Lembo said at halftime, it is working in the early going of the second half. Riddle chucks it. Hudgens at midfield. First down. Elon, 16 yards on the play.
And Tom, that looked like the Scott Riddle that we have seen. He's smiling a little bit on the sideline because he knows that's the offense that he's watched in practice all week. A little bit of a move to set it up, and then a rifle shot. No hesitation in that throw. Of course, you're getting it to the man who can make something happen in Terrell Hudgens.
4 catches, 51 yards for Hudgens. First down into Appalachian State territory. Hudgens again. Takes it down to the 42. It took Gilbert and Smith to bring down Hudgens, the 2-time All-American receiver. 6 yards on the catch for Hudgens. Now has 95 catches on the season. That is best in all of the football championship subdivision.
Hudgens shaking up a little bit on that one. He steps off the sideline. As for a break.
Second down and 4 for Scott Riddle and the Elon Phoenix.
Audible at the line of scrimmage. They take a look at the defense and then they call the play.
Riddle runs. First down out of bounds inside the 35. Chased by Demery Brewer.
All right, we're looking at a different Elon offense right now than we saw go in at the second in the second quarter. Brewer chasing to the sideline. Scott Riddle knows where that first down marker. He's running right to it. Going to get there, get out of bounds, keep running. Don't let them stop too quick or they'll come up on your back legs.
9 yards and a first down for Riddle. From the 34. Riddle. Hudgens makes the catch at the 7, fending off Cortez Gilbert. And the crowd has come alive.
That's a major league catch right there. And I'll tell you, that's why this guy has surpassed the record of Jerry Rice, who is a proven not only college player, but professional player on the world scene. And look at him keep his feet in there. The Cortez Gilbert, who is one of the best. I think he's probably the best defensive back, but certainly one of the best defensive backs that Hudgens has to go up against.
27 yards on that play. First and goal. Hudgens now 6 catches, 85 yards. Harris dragged down by Smith inside the 5-yard line.
Important drive, obviously, when you're down 21-0 is an important drive, but the fact that it is early in the second half, this is the first time you're getting the ball. Your defense did their job against Appalachian State's offense.
Elon, 4th in the conference in the red zone. They have scored 85.4% of the time with 26 touchdowns. 8th play of the drive on their first trip into the red zone. Harris, and then the play is stopped. Whistles and flags. And it might have been Lance Camp movement for Elon.
That is a big, big penalty from the 5 to the 10-yard line. Second down. They are probably looking at 4-down territory right here. I don't know what Pete Lembo is thinking to himself. Right here. Watch and see if you see him move. There he goes. Just enough. Only a little bit more than just enough. Tough penalty right there for Elon.
7 plays in this drive. Elon has driven 80 yards inside the 10. Second and goal. Riddle, incomplete, looking for Jeffcoat.
Tough one there. I believe he would have, I don't know if he'd have scored, but he would have gotten well inside the 5-yard line, made it a very comfortable 3rd down call coming up instead of 3rd and 10 from the 10. Now, Coach Lembo's got to be anticipating right this second what he's going to do on 4th down. It will affect this call. If he will accept the field goal, then you got anything you want, really. If you will not accept the field goal, you're going to go for it on 4th down. Maybe you get half of it here and hope that he can break it and run it in, but if he doesn't, at least you've got a shorter 4th down call.
3rd and goal from the 9. Hudgens to the bottom of your screen. Pass is complete near the 6.
4th and 6, though. This one is right on the line. They're going to get the 3 points, get something on the board.
That's Jeremy Peterson making the catch.
Right here at the end of the play, let's see. Oh, a little incidental face mask. Very, very slight, but this year, of course, they're all equal in the eyes of the law, the football law.
23-yard field goal. Adam Schreiner, redshirt freshman. And Elon is on the board. So the Phoenix, the first points of the second half. 21-3. SoCon Saturday on Sports South.
You're watching Sports South.
SoCon Saturday on Sports South is brought to you by Carolina Ford, Drive One. By Choice Hotels. Book now at choicesportstravel.com. We'll see you there. And by RBC Bank. Let's do something giant. During the course of the last drive, Terrell Hudgens had a key 27-yard pickup on a reception down close to the 5-yard line. But Sam, when they had a chance to go to the end zone, boy, did he want the football.
He wants it right here. And your great players want that ball. And really, he's the guy that probably had the best chance to outmuscle anybody on that defense to get the ball. But did not happen. I don't like to see players frustrated like that. I don't like for that emotion to show. But in the case of the great ones, boy, you understand why.
The positive part of it for Pete Lembo and the Elon Phoenix. They put the first points on the board here in the second half. Devin Radford crosses the 20. Radford up to the 30. And to the 32. Cameron McGlenn making the tackle. The Carolina Ford scoring drive goes 10 plays, 79 yards, 4.5 minutes, and Schreiner with a 23-yard field goal. Exactly what Pete Lembo was looking for. Wanted to score some points. What he also wants to see is some pressure on the quarterback, Armani Edwards, who is back into the football game.
What he didn't want to see was Lance Camp, 5-yard penalty for illegal procedure on the 5-yard line. May have cost him 4 points in that series.
Edwards, little toss to Moore. And Moore is close to a first down beyond the 40-yard line. Nolan Ward, strong safety. Senior, Brandon, Florida, makes the tackle.
Devin Moore, as we mentioned, is one of those guys that they just call him a good catch. That's what pro scouts refer to. If a guy's got good hands, he's a good receiver, he's a good catch. That guy can run and catch.
In the win against Wofford, Devin Moore with 180 yards rushing on 25 carries and a couple of rushing TDs. Last week, 12 carries, 74 yards for Moore, who crosses midfield and moves the sticks for the Mountaineers. Again, Nolan Ward has to bring him down.
First down for the Mountaineers at the Elon.
Good contain that time by Elon, but they pushed him back inside and there was nobody there. Look at the backside right here. You see the contain pushed him right into where the tackler should be, but too far downfield, enough for a first down. Good block that time by Brad Hardy, the tight end.
12 yards to the 49 of Elon. App State has not lost in the month of November since November 13th of 2004, Sam. They own this month.
They own it, and they're not losing a lot of people. They may own next year's month, too. They're a good-looking football team that still looks like they got a lot left.
Yep, you got to go back to November of 2005, and they lost to LSU of the Football Bowl subdivision back in 2005.
The LSU got lucky.
2005 also was the first national championship.
Yeah.
3 in a row, 05, 06, and 07. Lost in the second round of the playoffs last year, trying to get back today. A win today gets that automatic bid. There's a flag on the play.
They're going to call holding on Matt Ruff, I think, on the right side, offensive line.
Now, Sam, in 2008, Devin Moore had an ankle injury in the third game of the season against James Madison. He missed the rest of the season and got a medical red shirt.
Holding on the offense, number 70. That's a 10-yard penalty, second down.
But Coach Moore thinks very highly of Devin Moore, so much so he thinks they could have won a national title last year with him.
Well, you know, when you've got key players and you build your team around their specific talents and you lose them, obviously you got to rebuild, and if things don't work out, that's where you point. That was the variable that didn't work out.
Second down and 19 from their own 42-yard line for Appalachian State with a 4-receiver set for Armani Edwards from the shotgun. Complete. Cadet reverses direction. Running sideways. Joshua Jones makes the tackle close to midfield.
Tom, let me tell you how great that must be to say, okay, Traveris, you go in there and play quarterback for a couple of snaps till we loosen up Armani again, and then we'll bring in the all-time leading quarterback in the history of college football, over 9,000 yards passing and 4,000 yards rushing, and we'll throw the ball to you.
Those numbers combined, Sam, put Armani Edwards fourth in Division I history. Here's Edwards on third down. They are 50% on third down in the game. They're going to convert this one. Climb inside the 30 and down to the 25.
We're looking, Tom, at another kind of toughness from Armani Edwards. There's toughness when you lower your shoulder and hit somebody, but there's also toughness when you fight through some pain, and I'll guarantee you he is not totally comfortable with that knee. Just happened to recently. We got somebody down on the field right now. Elon is, it looks like Nolan Ward. Safety, free safety for Elon. It is. But Armani Edwards is an amazing guy. Now that pass right there is another indication that that's why I think this guy is going to be an NFL quarterback. He's not going to be one of those Randall L's that goes in and plays a lot of different specialty positions and return men. This guy has the passing ability of an NFL quarterback. There's no doubt about it. And he's got the running ability that very few in the history of the NFL have had. You put those two together, and he's a valuable asset to your team. I just think there are a lot of teams. They're going to hold their cards close to their chest, too. They're not going to talk a lot about him because they don't want his stock going too high, too fast. They're hoping, of course, some of the teams down the line, they got their team pretty well built to add him to an already strong NFL squad.
So good news, Ward runs off the field. Armani Edwards at the controls. Just hit Matt Klein, who now has 7 catches for 99 yards. Armani Edwards up over 200 yards passing in the game, but a sizzling 15 of 18. Edwards completing 71% of his passes on the season. This is Radford on the carry. Joshua Jones making the tackle. And the numbers are simply staggering. These are coming into today. The career passing yardage puts him first in Appalachian State history. The rushing yardage, he is first in school history by quarterbacks and second
in football championship subdivision history for quarterbacks rushing.
And he's also not permitted to mow the lawn for the rest of his NFL or college career. Injured early in this season with a lawnmower accident.
And it's so funny because Brian Quick is actually his roommate, and Quick was startled to see Edwards over the summer with a towel around his foot. You know, in a situation like that, you're going to lose some blood, certainly. And it was, Quick was very worried about the situation. And maybe the way Armani Edwards approaches everything, he was calm, cool, and collected. Missed the first game of the season with 30 stitches in that left foot. But now could become, Sam, the first quarterback in Southern Conference history to lead his team to 4 straight Southern Conference titles. Over the middle, and that one is complete. Yeah, that's more on the reception, Sam.
That's not going to be enough for the first down, though. Let's see. This field goal here could match the 3 points Elon got earlier. Going back to Armani Edwards a little bit, he was cutting an incline in his front yard. He rented a place in Boone, and he was cutting the grass. It was on an incline, and his foot slipped as he was pulling the lawnmower back. It went under the blades of the lawnmower, cut it, but obviously not serious enough that he knocked him out of the year.
35-yarder from Vitaris. And he rips that baby right through.
The field goal is good.
Jason Vitaris, who missed from 29 yards away in the second quarter, connects in the third quarter. So Appalachian State takes a 24-3 lead on the 35-yarder from Jason Vitaris. This is SoCon Saturday. Overflow crowd at Rhodes Stadium for the biggest football game in the history of Elon University. Over 14,000 in attendance. That is a new attendance record for Rhodes Stadium. It was actually set back in September of '07 when Elon hosted Appalachian State. That was the largest crowd. Today has broken that record. Lance Camp at the 11. Camp to the 30. And he runs into Cortez Gilbert. So Scott Riddle will bring out the offense. Riddle in the game. He is 11 of 20. 134 yards with those 3 interceptions. And on the last drive, Riddle went 5 of 6, Sam, for 66 yards. Trying to build on his confidence. But this is a guy, Sam, who averages 283 yards passing per game. Best in the Southern Conference and 7th best in the entire nation.
And he could explode at any minute right here. In the last series, he had a couple of passes that were definitely showing more positive feeling from him as a passer. They're going to mix it up maybe a little bit with a run, but they are running out of time to try to get back into this ball game to win it on the ground. They're going to have to throw it.
So that was Newsom on the carry. Here's the Toyota game summary. And just a couple of field goals here in the third quarter, and App State maintains that 21-point lead.
That 3 turnovers has been big, of course, as all turnovers are in any football game. But when you're playing 2 top teams, you just can't afford mistakes.
65 yards total rushing for Elon. And when I first looked at that number, Sam, I thought it was a little low. I thought they had more success.
Yeah.
But Pete Lembo continues to go back to the running game. At some point, you would think you're going to have to start throwing it all over the field. And you've got the right guy to do that, Sam.
Well, you've got him to do it. But really, we're still in the third quarter. There's 3 minutes to go. He can come up with 7 points here right around the turn here, but either right at the end of the third or right at the start of the fourth quarter. You're only 14 points down. Now you've got a chance to say, okay, we start taking our shots down the field and try to win this thing in the fourth quarter.
3rd and 2. 2 for 7 in the game for Elon on 3rd down. Riddle threw it into traffic looking for Jeffcoat. Smith was there for Appalachian State, and Jeffcoat couldn't come up with it.
I'll tell you, DJ Smith is right there. The linebackers are settling right at the first down marker. Normally a linebacker will drop 9 to 11 yards. It looks like Scott Riddle's nursing a little bit of an injury himself. Let's see what happens right here. Here's the pass rush. A little bit of a Little late hit on that one and below the waist. Anytime that happens, in fact, he's going to come out and unable to punt. He's normally the punter. Coming into the ball game now, number 31.
Andy Leffler,
okay,
number 31. And Leffler drills it to Cadet. Puts some backspin on it, and it's down to the 29. So here comes App State on offense.
Okay, if you're Elon right now, you're saying, okay, we've got our strength on the field. We've got the #1 defense in the entire country. Now let's play like it, get the ball back quick, get a turnover possibly, and give us a chance to get a score here pretty quick to get back within 14 points of App State. Armani Edwards back in there at quarterback, though. That's a good sign. Boy, that I'm sure the App State 6,000 strong that are here are happy to see him back.
Moore, 35, crosses the 40, first down, Appalachian State.
Terrific run, but you don't do that by yourself. David Harrison, or excuse me, not David Harrison, but Matt Ruff had a terrific block on that one, along with the rest of that offensive line. Ruff's the right tackle guard, Ruff coming around. Made sure that there was nobody catching him from behind.
12 yards and a fresh set of downs for Appalachian State. From their own 41-yard line. Edwards puts some air under this one, looking for Quick, knocked away. Carlos Sullivan. Boy, it looked like Quick had made the catch, but Sullivan got a piece of it. There is a flag down.
In the backfield, though, normally that is an offensive penalty. Let's see what it is. The umpire talking to, that's normally the umpire and the referee called a holding most of the time. So, goes against Elon, and I'm telling you, they have really had a tough go. Today, when the close calls come, they have not had too many breaks.
They got down close to the goal line earlier.
Personal foul on the defense, number 60. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous
That's
spot.
Eric Ludwig.
Automatic first down.
Call for the personal foul.
So, Sam, remember that penalty against Camp for the illegal procedure down close to the goal line. The potential face mask that really wasn't called. And now you've got the personal foul against Ludwig here. Spotting the ball at the 44-yard line.
I think of a long pass down the sideline. It was beautifully caught by Terrell Hudgens' call for offensive pass interference. So they're legitimate calls. It's just tough to have that many against a good team and still have a chance.
We've got another flag. Larry Saunders is our referee.
Usually an offensive penalty when they stop the play like that.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, the right guard, first down.
Matt Ruff again, they're calling it on the right guard. And Coach Moore wants to know a little bit more details.
Head coach Jerry Moore, 21st year, all-time winningest coach. Moore, 27-8 in his last 35 games against football championship subdivision ranked opponents.
You can see how far off the ball the right side of that offensive line is. They line up off the ball, gives them chances for combination blocks.
This is Moore. That's a modest gain on first down for Moore as we go inside of 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Let us remind you of the stakes involved. The winner gets the automatic bid to the playoffs in the football championship subdivision and takes home that Southern Conference title.
And a matchup of undefeated Southern Conference foes here today, too. Both of them 6-0. This is about as late in the season that's ever happened, right? Very unusual to have two teams 6-0 this late and playing each other for all the marbles.
Wide open, complete. Edwards to Quick.
Hit on the Conference standings again. Elon, App State going into this one. Of course, App State, you know, they're listed second there. They have the advantage, and they're holding serve so far. Monty Edwards took a pretty good shot on that last play as he let it go. Just another indication of the different forms of toughness that he has. He stood right in there and let that one go through a perfect strike for the first down.
19 yards to Brian Quick. Quick now with 3 catches. Make it 4 catches now. 56 yards receiving for Quick, who went for a career-high 181 yards receiving in the win at Wofford. He had a couple of touchdowns, including a 57-yard TD toss from Edwards to Quick.
Long count.
Moore down to the 25. His 14th carry of the game. He's up over 45 yards for the game. Cameron McGlenn making the tackle. Brings up 2nd and 6.
That was a good team defense. They kept pushing it wide all the way out to the cornerback. That was McGlenn, Cameron McGlenn making the tackle, but he's the last guy on the very end, and that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter.
15 minutes to go for Appalachian State, and it's 5th straight Southern Conference title. Jerry Moore's team, and his defense in particular, allowing just 3 points to Elon, second in the conference, averaging 35 points per game. So we'll take a timeout and get geared up for the fourth quarter. Edwards returning from injury. Hudgens wants some emotion. Riddle with 3 interceptions. That's why it's 24-3 at the end of the third quarter on SoCon Saturday.
SoCon Saturday on Sports South is brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Ask now, ask how, ask Sherwin-Williams. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by Capturion. Consider yourself captured.
The final 15 minutes from Rhodes Stadium. We get a look at our stats through 3 quarters, served up by Blimpie.
And the stats show all App State, as it should. 24-3 is the score right there. But Elon coming back a little bit, 201 yards. They were 110 at the halftime.
That is well below Elon's average of 455 per game, Sam, which is second best in the conference. The top team in the conference is Appalachian State. They average almost 500 yards per game. They are also tops in the football championship subdivision.
And they're looking to be very careful right here that nothing happens, that they at least come away with their 3 points. Obviously, they'd like to have 7 if you're Appalachian State. But 3 points right here makes a big difference. It puts Elon in a position where they're going to have to score all touchdowns. No more field goals if they get into that, that 4th down and long situation.
There's 3rd and 5. App State very solid on 3rd down throughout the course of the game. 5 of 10. Edwards uncorks it. Complete to Klein. I think, Sam, he is just a little bit short as Cameron McGlenn came up to make the hit from his free safety position.
He's a little bit short with a very generous spot. That one looked like he got tackled right at the 20-yard line, but they're giving him to the 19. And Amani Edwards staying in the ball game tells me they're going to go for it again. He did reach out there. I see what the official saw. He saw the ball reached out. His forward motion stopped.
4th and short. App State is 50% on 4th down, but a flag comes out. They have gone for it 10 times.
Prior to the snap infraction, offense, number 57. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Illegal procedure makes it 4th and 5 and a foot.
We have documented their unique process, Sam, as the play comes down from the coach's box. All the offensive coaches can have input on the play. They're all on the headsets. So you've got to really have that system refined to make it work effectively. Clearly, App State has done that.
Well, you got the pecking order. Who's up next? Make a comment.
41 yards away.
It is no good. Hooked to the left by Viteris. So he is now 1 for 3 in the game. Missing from 29, connecting from 35, and missing on that one. App State has a 24-3 lead. They were going to go for it on 4th down in the last series, but a penalty. And look at the camera work here, Sam.
Watch very closely. They called that the center moved the ball. You saw that, didn't you? Want to see it again? I don't think so. That one was very slight, but whatever the official, the umpire felt like it could have affected drawing the defense offside. So 5 yards and missed field goal as a result.
Harris. So here comes the Phoenix. Harris taken down. Great pursuit along the line.
Here are the cold, hard facts of the fourth quarter. Elon's probably going to have the ball, including this possession, 3 more times, possibly a 4th down desperation time. But 3 more times they trail by 3 touchdowns. So they almost have to score on each of their possessions, and they have to do them in a timely manner.
12 minutes, 49 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. It is 2nd and 9. Riddle back to pass. He is sacked. 54, Jabari Fletcher wrapped him up in those big arms and brought him down for another sack. The 4th of the game for Appalachian State. And we apologize for the video technical difficulties. We are working on that to remedy the situation in the meantime. We will keep you apprised of the situation here at Rhodes Stadium. It is 24-3. Appalachian State, the 8th-ranked team in the nation, leads Elon, number 6 in the country. It is now 3rd and 16 with the ball at the 17-yard line. Riddle from the shotgun with a 5-receiver set. Riddle stumbles down. He's sacked again. Anthony Williams. That is his 2nd sack of the game. Riddle got his feet tangled up. Williams was right there to cut him down at the ankles. And App State, those big players on the front line celebrating a couple of back-to-back sacks.
So on 2 plays, on 2nd down, it was Jabari Fletcher who got the sack from the offensive left side. And then Anthony Williams on 3rd down, the sack from the offensive left side. The pressure just coming too much. And really a little bit of a comparison there between Armani Edwards and Scott Riddle. Armani Edwards probably could have escaped that last rush, but most quarterbacks could not, including Scott Riddle.
So Scott Riddle punts from the back of his own end zone. DeAndre Presley will let it bounce at the Elon 40. He thought about picking it up at about the 48, but it rolls inside the 45 of App State and is blown dead at the 43. So that's where App State will start 1st and 10 when we come back on SoCon Saturday.
You're watching Sports South.
Jerry Moore just 11 minutes and 7 seconds away from a 5th straight Southern Conference title. Pete Lembo in his 4th season had his team undefeated in SoCon play, 6-0 after starting 5-0 last season in the Southern Conference. But right now it's an uphill battle for Lembo and the Elon Phoenix, 24-3. App State with the lead. And we apologize for the inconvenience. We have restored our video feed. And Appalachian State, and Devin Moore gets the first carry up to the 45-yard line. Joshua Jones, number 50, sophomore from Tampa, Florida, on the tackle.
And from a defensive standpoint, now Elon's got to come up with a little bit more of a pressure defense. Gambling a little bit, you can't give away the farm, but gambling a little bit, making sure that they get either a turnover or at least a quick kick by or turnover in terms of the punt from Appalachian State. They can't let Appalachian State eat this fourth quarter clock.
Keep in mind, Appalachian State has not lost to Elon since 1964. Quick has it inside the 15.
Wow. Appalachian State, look at those fans that have made the trip down here. The number was estimated to be around 6,000 of them. Celebrating the move right here. This one is Sullivan getting beat. Right there, makes the tackle after the catch. 32-yard completion from Armani Edwards. Right down the middle, and just about the time you think they're starting to get a little conservative, eat the clock up, not a chance. They're going for it.
Quick now, 5 catches, 98 yards. Devin Moore runs into Brandon Ward, but now the clock, the biggest enemy for Elon. As App State controls the football game with inside of 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Ryan Quick, too, is just a sophomore. The only senior receiver that they'll lose this year is Matt Klein. This Appalachian State team has got a lot of them coming back. Only 3 starting seniors on offense, 4 starting seniors on defense.
Complete. Quick. At about the 10-yard line. Officially spotted at the 9.
I'm looking at that from a coaching standpoint. The protection that he got, the time he got. You see Pete Limbo is asking the official, what about holding? They can't hold him out that long and be doing it legally. I didn't see any flagrant, or as the linemen call it, fragrant holding. I think they're exaggerating about the smell.
Edwards now 21 of 24, 283 yards passing for Armani Edwards, who went for 355 yards passing at Furman. Moore gets the carry and went for 415 yards passing in the win at Wofford. And that was a close game as well, Sam, for this Appalachian State team, trailing in the second half. And they turn on the offensive production in the second half and one going away in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Well, Appalachian State is a kind of a football team that if you relax or you're out of position, sometimes you're not doing anything wrong, you just don't get there in time, they will make you pay for it. But there are teams like Chattanooga a week ago that had 2 onside kick recoveries that scared them a little bit before they pulled away again.
26-yarder from Viteris, and it's good. So Viteris now 2 for 4 on field goals in the game. Appalachian State up 27-3. SoCon Saturday on Sports South. Appalachian State in command, 27-3. Jason Viteris tacking on another field goal to give App State that 27-3 lead. The Carolina Ford scoring drive goes 6 plays, 49 yards, just over 3 minutes. But, Sam, that's a precious 3 minutes taken off the clock for the Elon Phoenix.
Well, it is. It leaves only 8 minutes, 3 seconds left. And they've got to be thinking, Elon does, that a score means go for 2. They're 24 points behind. They probably aren't going to be able to score 4 times with the time remaining. Be lucky if they can get in there 3 times, really.
And it's Camp up to the 25.
You know, the other thing that is painful to this crowd, this Elon crowd, is that their team is undefeated here this year. They were 4-0 coming in. They've outscored. They've outscored their opponent 43-8 on an average in this arena, and has not happened here today for them.
So the Sherwin-Williams defensive play of the game. It's the Appalachian State defense. 3 interceptions and allowing only 3 points this afternoon as the Sherwin-Williams defensive play of the game.
And it's Mark McCree and Ed Gainey. Gainey with this, or McCree with this one right here. Gainey on the one previous. And those 3 turnovers, not only did they turn the ball over, but they got field position out of them. So they, one in particular, got down inside the 10-yard line. And you turn an Appalachian State offense loose that close to the goal line, you're going to get 7 points. And they did.
2 interceptions in the first quarter, 1 in the second. And that really got things started. Offense from defense for Appalachian State. For Scott Riddle, just 134 yards passing for a guy who averages 283 yards passing per game as the best in the Southern Conference. So really, you have to give a lot of credit to that Appalachian State defense and the work they have done today. Little toss. Hudgens Wrestled down by DJ Smith.
Pass complete to Terrell Hudgens. In on the tackle, number 9, DJ
Well, we talked
Smith.
about it before the game, Sam. We mentioned that Elon had the top defensive unit in the entire country. I think App State felt a little bit slighted because they came to play this afternoon and this evening here at Rhodes Stadium.
Well, I think they did too. We're looking at Hudgens, who got just roughed up right there. He's okay. Looks like he'll go back in there. But you're right. Appalachian State decided they were going to outplay the #1 defense in the country, and I think they have. Objectively, you have to say that they have at this point.
Riddle has to fire that one into his own bench because Anthony Williams was bearing down on him.
They've had Appalachian State has put pressure when it needed to be put on, but the coverage down the field to me has been the #1 thing that has stopped this passing attack. They have really done a number on Hudgens to begin with, but on the other receivers as well. And then when the alternate receiver was, and then Scott Riddle was looking for him, time ran out.
3rd and 6, just 2 for 9. Third down of the contest. Complete.
Up for the first down.
Jeremy Peterson making the catch. That will move the chains. 5 sacks for this Appalachian State defense. DJ Smith with a team high 15 tackles in the game. He came in with 85. So if my math serves me correctly, Sam, he has an even 100 tackles for the season. Hudgens couldn't hang on. Guess who was right behind him? DJ Smith.
DJ Smith.
You know, DJ Smith went to Independence High School in Charlotte and won 4 straight state championships. They didn't lose a game. So Smith knows about championship pedigree, and he and his team, it appears, will earn that automatic bid to the FCS playoffs.
You know, when you're recruiting high school kids, you try to get players that have played on successful teams because they understand how it's done, what the feeling is like when you have to prepare week after week.
Look at Riddle bounce off of a couple of would-be tacklers.
And that one looked a little Armani-like right there, getting free from tacklers, keeping his feet, keeping his eyes down the field, keeping the ball alive, and then stopping the clock right along the sideline.
13 yards and a first down on the connection from Riddle to Peterson. Look at this, Sam, just bounces right off him.
Robertson, Tony Robertson, one of those guys that he bounced off of, giving him time to find the open receiver.
Scott Riddle, 6 feet 210, a junior. Hudgens close to the first down marker, near the 42. Cortez Gilbert out there.
Did not get out of bounds,
Hudgens, yeah, the clock continues to run, and I'm going to say that they're a little bit short of the first down as we approach 6 minutes remaining in what we touted as a title game. The winner getting that automatic bid. Elon has not defeated Appalachian State since 1964. 13 straight in the series. In fact, in 1964, App State was App State Teachers College, and Elon was the Elon College Fighting Christians. So this program has come a long way. Is it complete? Yes, it is. Down at the 22, Terrell Hudgens.
Terrell Hudgens makes the big play coming back. Now that one was really, he had nothing. He was on his knees when he caught it. Step and go. I don't think he thought he was going to get that ball, but there was a hole. Scott Riddle did a nice job. His arm stayed under there. We won't argue that one. No red flag out there. There's no instant replay yet in this game anyway.
9 catches, 119 yards for Hudgens. 26th time in his career he's gone over 100 yards receiving. And look at that run right there. A.J. Harris just barreling his way for the sophomore from Ocean View, New Jersey.
And enough for another first down, which stops the clock. 5-11, a quick score here. Look for an onside kick on the ensuing kickoff if they can get in the end zone.
That's a 10-yard pickup. And Elon can still get another first down close to the 2-yard line. We're on 1st and 10 from the 12.
They're taking a little bit too much time right now, though. This one, if they're going to get back and have a chance to win this one, they've got to be in a full 2-minute mode.
To the end zone. Touchdown. Aaron Millette. First touchdown of the game for the Phoenix.
Appalachian State went back into its zone defense. Millette moved to the inside. Scott Riddle saw it all unfold and shot a rifle shot right to his back hip, making sure nobody could knock it down. And they're going to go for one, which means they're going to have to score 3 more times. Kick is good.
12 yards. Scott Riddle to Aaron Millette. 21st touchdown throw of the season for Riddle. 27-10, under 5 minutes to go.
It's our huge final model year in closeout sale.
Millette with his second TD grab of the season makes it 27-10, a 12-yard play. It was Riddle to Millette in the end zone.
And we could be looking at an onside kick here. Now they've got lineup. They got 4 players to the kicker's right. The bulk of them to the left. And the onside kick being anticipated by App State, who had 2 of them recovered by Chattanooga a week ago late in the game to get Chattanooga back into it.
In that 35-20 victory. And before the kick, there is a timeout. So Schreiner ran up to it, kicked it, but a timeout was called by Appalachian State. They have 2 remaining. Let's check out the Porsche score update around the Southern Conference. And Western Carolina gets a nice victory, 24-7 over Eastern Carolina. Samford beats Wofford after Wofford had defeated the Citadel a week ago. Chattanooga takes out the Citadel at home. Chattanooga took Appalachian State right down to the 4th quarter last week.
Much improved team, Chattanooga.
And Georgia Southern losing to Furman 30-22. Next week we'll be at Furman for our final game of the season.
Wofford will be there with us.
Furman, exactly.
Wofford and Furman, arch rivals, about an hour apart, driving time.
Chattanooga, Sam, now 6-4 for the season.
They are good for the times we've seen them, studied them, and also had their game. They look very impressive, and they are a confident football team. Here's the onside kick again.
1 for 1 on the season for Elon on onside kicks. Quick. Gathers it, gets smacked, but hangs on.
And you know, Quick could have called for the fair catch and avoided that hit. All he's got to do is wave it. You can fair catch and kick off as long as it doesn't touch the ground first. If it's a high bounce, obviously you can't do that. Well, the line drive, I guess he thought he might be able to make a little play out of it, but here's the kick. All he's got to do is wave his hand that nobody can hit him after the catch like that.
I think that's when you loft it like that, Sam. I think that's what you're looking for, is that jarring hit.
Yeah.
Because the receiver really can't brace himself. But the kick that Schreiner made right before the timeout was a great-looking onside kick, and that was a low skidder with that third bounce that pops up in the air. So.
Which is the traditional onside kick, that third bounce, bouncing high and hanging in the air for anybody to get to.
Travaris Cadet back in at quarterback for Appalachian State. Cadet into the secondary. First down and more. Inside the 25 for Cadet.
Okay, Travaris Cadet, they had lots of blocking down the field. Matt Klein, Blake Elder, DeAndre Presley, all of them making key blocks down the field. This is a competitive kid right here now. I'm talking about Cadet. Look at him. He gets his shot late in the game. He's had a opportunity to play a good bit this year in the 4th quarter, and boy, does he go after it.
28 yards for number 7.
3 receivers to the right. Got a running back in the backfield to keep him honest in the Elon defensive line.
Cadet again. Inside the 20. Nolan Ward, strong safety on the tackle.
Travis Green comes in for Elon.
So we're inside of 4 minutes to go.
This is, I'm chuckling a little bit here because I think Coach Moore would like to get a few players in, but you don't want to make a mistake here and send 12 in there and then cost yourself a penalty, which stops the clock and costs you yards as well. Best offensive story, defensive story.
App State well above the average allowed by Elon. And they are still fighting. That ball might have come out. I think it was whistled dead.
They dropped the
well, they're talking about it. It was Radford on the carry, and they're still struggling for the football. And it's certainly an emotional time on that field, Sam.
Elon has had a lot riding on this one, and as it comes to the close here, and it looks like they're not going to have enough time to get back in this thing. That one was an important play for players on the field. You know what that tells me? It means something.
By Appalachian State, the ball was touched by a player who was touching out of bounds. Therefore, the ball was out of bounds. It's Appalachian, 3rd down.
Well, Sam, we noted that App State had all the experience coming into a game of this magnitude. A 9-2 record when they had a chance to clinch at least a share of the SoCon title. They've won 6 in a row, including last year against Elon, to clinch it. And here's the tail end of that play.
Now, Elon's got a hand on the ball right there, but his foot's out of bounds according to the official, and so the ball is out of bounds.
Yeah, bounced off of Carlos Sullivan. So App will keep it, and it's 1st and goal as we go inside of 3 minutes left. So much made of this matchup of top 10 teams with everything riding on it. And even with the loss for Elon, there's a very good chance that this team will, in fact, be involved in the playoff picture.
Oh, I think they will be. I think they will be in a large pick. The automatic berth, though, will go to Appalachian State, assuming that nothing happens last week in the season.
Cadet buying some time and then throwing it away. Elon will drop to 8-2. And Armani Edwards and the App State Mountaineers will go to 8-2 and 7-0 in the conference. And Armani Edwards is the RBC Bank player of the game.
And well deserved, too. This is a tough dude right here. Running for touchdowns, taking some licks during the course of the game, making plays, reaching out second effort. Injured his knee, came back in the second half after the injury. Playing like nothing happened. Just another day at the office.
281 yards passing and 73 yards rushing for Armani Edwards, who last year in this game against Elon, Sam, Edwards was injured in the second half with a
snap infraction. Offense, number 57. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
With a hip injury, did pass for 147 and rush for 104. He had 3 TD passes in the game a year ago, and he runs for 3 in this game.
Well, he is clearly the centerpiece of this offense. I think the most important player in FCS football, certainly, because he got the ball in his hand on every snap. A guy like Terrell Hudgens is a terrific player and a big timer, but quarterback's always going to have the ball.
Cadet tripped up inside the 5. Cameron McGlenn. And I think, Sam, that it is worth mentioning one more time, Armani Edwards is the only player in the history of college football to throw for over 9,000 yards and rush for over 4,000. He is the only one in the history of college football.
And that's not just FCS football. That is all college football. At any major university that you are claiming is the #1 team in the nation, nobody has had a player like this to accomplish what he's accomplished. And by the way, Terrell Hudgens on the other side has done remarkable things. But here is Armani. This is a typical day for him. He doesn't have a big day every now and then. It's every Saturday. What balance this guy has. You know, not only does he have balance and quickness and change of direction, if you get him into a tight spot where he's got to take somebody on one-on-one, he usually wins that battle as well. Not a real big guy. He's 6 feet, 184 pounds. But according to NFL scouts, you know, he's as big as Drew Brees, who's leading the NFL in passing right now. And I think he's an NFL passer. I don't think he's a guy that you go in there and play with. You put him in at quarterback and go win some football games. But that's another time. Right now, he wants to win another national title at Appalachian State.
He will improve to 40-6 as a starting quarterback. A couple of weeks ago against Furman, threw for 355 yards, 2 touchdowns, rushed for 106, 4 touchdowns, and during that game, that's when he crossed the 9,000, 4,000 barrier as the first player ever.
2 minutes, 20 seconds.
And he's certainly on his way to 10, 11,000. I think the only thing that's important to him, though, is that championship ring. He's already got 2 of them. App winning 3 in a row in 05, 06, 07. In fact, App, the only 3-time champ in the football championship subdivision history, and the first Division I team in 61 years to win 3 in a row, Sam. Army of the mid-40s won 3 in a row.
And you called several of those games, as I recall, down the stretch for Army in those days.
With Glenn Davis and Doc Blanchard, Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside.
Right, with those tomato cans and string. Yeah.
Back in the day. The helmets are no longer leather. And the athletes play at such a high level. They are so big and so fast. And Armani Edwards has illustrated his durability time and time again. Just look at him now. Ice on the right knee, the thumb being taped up. I'm sure he wants to be in the game no matter what.
Took that brace off his knee. Now the referee has gone to both sidelines and talked about some issue. I'm not sure what it was, but they have cleared it up.
Yeah, it was a clock malfunction. They've got it cleared up. Here's a pitch. Radford stumbles down at the 7-yard line. So we approach 2 minutes to go in Appalachian State, which will play against Western Carolina for the old Mountain Jug next week. Elon will travel to Samford, which won today.
Elon taking a timeout right there on 4th down, which will force App State to make a decision. They want to go ahead and pop a field goal up there for good measure and make it a 30-10 lead, or do they leave Elon backed up if they don't score on the ground?
So next week, our final stop on the SoCon Saturday Tour on Sports South. We'll go to Spartanburg, South Carolina. Wofford against Furman. We saw Wofford a week ago with an impressive victory over the Citadel. And we'll be going to Greenville, South Carolina, 3 o'clock for our final kickoff of the season here on SoCon Saturday. And what a pleasure it has been. A huge thank you to everyone on our technical crew, pictures and sound all season long of SoCon Saturday. So there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, they broke the huddle with 12 men. This is what I was kind of chuckling about earlier when you're trying to get a lot of players in there, get them all a chance to play in a game like this and to have a memory of it.
You know what I love about Jerry Moore, Sam? I got to play golf with him this summer. He was a wide receiver on the Baylor team of 1960. They lost in the Gator Bowl by a point to Florida. He was still telling me about the story. He was still upset about it. Cadet trying to escape the pressure. Turns the corner. Reverses his field. Look at him slide down. I think he faked himself out, Sam.
I think he did. Oh, I know, too, though, he ate up a lot of clock. I was going back and forth for a long time. 2 minutes left to go in the game, and Elon will have the ball at just inside the 20-yard line. Here's the move. Here's the move. Here's where he does it. I'm going to fall down myself. And he does. Jerry Moore, coach at App State, watching this guy. You know, look at him kind of, that head shake is, I'm not sure what he's saying. He could be saying, boy, I can't wait till next year to see this guy go, or what is he doing? So,
There is another player hunched over on the field for Elon. We are being told it is Eric Ludwig, who is a senior from Burlington, right here in Burlington, North Carolina. And this is the final game for the seniors, and I'm sure, Sam, they had such high hopes, but they need to maintain their competitive level. There's a very good chance, as we had documented, they'll be playing in the postseason, regardless of the outcome here today.
Well, that's right, and obviously injuries like this, we don't know the extent of them. Maybe they're just a couple of days of treatment and they'll be ready to go again. But a guy like Eric Ludwig, who has had a terrific game today and one of the biggest pillars of their defense, would be really missed going into a playoff situation. Because remember, in the playoffs, you're going to play the best of the best. You're going to play the teams that have had those good years, and they're all going to have pluses.
Here's another senior, number 19 on the day, Sam. For Terrell Hudgens, 9 catches, 118 yards. Again, over 100 yards receiving for the 26th time. He's got 3 games over 200 yards receiving, which ties a Southern Conference record.
And listen, he's a big-time player.
Leading the entire nation in receptions, yardage, and touchdowns as a receiver out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and a senior on this Elon squad.
On a 2-minute mode, still just taking what the defense gives them, but they're going to give them everything in front, nothing deep.
Riddle over the middle. That's a fine sliding grab by Mr. Hudgens.
He is a sure-handed receiver. We've seen that the entire ball all season long, but anything that doesn't have to be thrown in stride or top quarter, as they call it, up in the chest area, he'll catch it behind his back, going down or jumping up for it.
Appalachian State will improve to 7-0 in conference play, with one more game to go next week against Western Carolina at the Rock Kid Brewer Stadium, where they have won 46 of their last 49 home games.
Well,
we witnessed that against Georgia Southern a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely. They took it to Georgia Southern, and they'll be the favorite team going into that one, obviously, and I don't think Jerry Moore will let them come out flat on that one. Just watching Scott Riddle right here continue to throw the ball. You know, he's completed the ball to 12 different receivers this season. I don't know if he's added one to that number in this ball game or not, but he gets the ball around to a lot of players. It's not just Terrell Hudgens that catches the ball, but obviously he is he's the gem of the group.
Well, it's Riddle and Armani who went back and forth as far as the passing yardage record in the Southern Conference, and Riddle is ultimately going to get it because he's only a junior. And this is Armani's final season of college football, but they've gone back and forth during the course of the season. Jerry Moore, 6 times the SoCon Coach of the Year, including last year. And in 2006, the National Coach of the Year. Incomplete. Anticipation from Mark Legree. Broke up the play. Stops the clock. 1:07 to go. For Appalachian State, give a lot of credit to their fans, who came out in droves, some 6,000 strong, and that deserves a smile. 14th straight win over Elon, and a school record 19 straight wins in Southern Conference play.
And they're going to go for it on 4th down. Not much to lose.
They've gone for it 7 times this season. Millette, who has the touchdown catch. That one popped up and broken up by Mark Legree. And that is going to do it. 59 seconds to go. And look at the celebration on that Appalachian State side of the football field. Sam, you've been in these situations, the emotion, all the work that you do, all the film sessions, all the drills, it finally culminates when you grab that championship and you just don't let go.
Drills? What drills? Maybe that's why I wasn't in more game. No. I tell you, these are the moments that you hope you have a lot of as a competitor, regardless of what sport you're in, because all that hard work does pay off if you just stay after it and you got the right personnel. Obviously, Appalachian State does. They are a fun team to watch, no question.
Credit to the defensive coordinator for App State, John Wiley, who is in his 19th year on the staff and 17th as the defensive coordinator under Jerry Moore. Jerry's son Chris is also on the staff. He is the running backs coach.
Yeah, everybody have a good time. 5 in a row, second longest streak in SoCon history. Southern Conference champions. There's no way that they can get knocked out of this spot now. They are the champions for 2009.
Georgia Southern won 6 in a row from 97 to 2002 to set the record. App State now with 5 in a row. Dominating performance. Defensively, offensively, and they can celebrate the Southern Conference title one more time as they bring it back to Boone.
They can. I'll tell you what, Jerry Moore did not want to get any Gatorade dumped on him. He was looking, his head was on a swivel when that game ended. Monty Edwards coming over, shaking hands as both these teams, class outfits from the top of their administration, coaches, players. They respect each other. They know what each team puts into it to put on have a season like they've had and put on a contest like we saw this afternoon. App State getting the better of it, 27-10. Monty Edwards looks like what might have been an injury is not going to be a serious one, but here's the updated conference records. App State on top, 7-0, 8-2 overall, with Elon alone in second place, 6-1, 8-2 overall.
A fantastic effort from all the student athletes and the coaches involved in our game today. The App State fans and their Mountaineers and our Monty Edwards can celebrate a Southern Conference championship. It's becoming a habit in Boone, a habit you like to keep. And Jerry Moore motioning to that crowd that followed him here to Elon, North Carolina. A hug from his son, Chris, who is a member of his coaching staff. We'll take one final timeout and come back to Rhodes Stadium to wrap this one up. This is SoCon Saturday on Sports South. Jerry Moore in the middle of that pile-up with his players. Commissioner John Imerino is also in there presenting the SoCon Championship Trophy. And what a victory for App State, coming on the road and beating Elon, the number 16 of the country.
Well, it proves what had to be proven. Who is the best between the two best coming into November? And it's clearly Appalachian State. They were the superior team this afternoon.
They raise the trophy, and they will take it back to Boone as App State came into Elon, got a great defensive effort, and got it done in the first half offensively. So once again, our final score from Rhodes Stadium in Elon, North Carolina, 27-10 App State over Elon. Be sure to join us next week, our final SoCon Saturday presentation of the season. Wofford takes on Furman. Game time set for 3 o'clock Eastern, right here on Sports South. For my broadcast partner, Sam Whiteside and Tom Wormy, so long from Elon, North Carolina. App State, SoCon champs, once again.
I guess SEC basketball now is a tradition. It's competitive, the best of the best.